Hello, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. Are you guys ready for some collared and chained up anime men? Because I am 100% ready for this event story. I have been holding off. I've been making sure I don't see any spoilers, nothing on like Twitter or Reddit, because I want to have the full experience, my first actual reaction to it on today's stream. And I'm very excited to see where these stories go. I did play through Silas's card that I got from my pools, and I love the world building. It was so long and perfect, and like the actual scene was really good. And then they had a bad end. They added QTEs. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. I like how they are trying new things as the game progresses. It's really fun to see that. I like how they're testing out things. They're not afraid to go out the lines, basically. Out the box, that's the phrase. They're not afraid to go out the box. I really enjoyed that. So I'm very excited to see how the stories are for each of the characters in this universe. Since last time I streamed this, I was able to finish Caleb's update for the main story. So we do have him unlocked for this event. So we will definitely go through his too. For the order I want to do, obviously I am doing Silas first. That is best boy. I think it'll be Silas, Raphael, Caleb, Zane, then Xavier. I think that's the order I am going to attempt to do today, and hopefully that should be fine. Do I got anything else to say? Oh, it snowed. It snowed in my area. We haven't had snow, like actual snow, like inches in years. So it's really exciting to see all the snow, but it snowed like literally all night, and we have like at least a foot of snow outside of my house. And it's so wild to see. Like, I have not seen snow in years. It looks pretty, but I'm not going outside to play in it. It's cold as hell outside. And it actually snowed again earlier this morning, and technically there's still more chances of like 1 to 2 more inches later tonight. So I don't know how that is gonna work out. Definitely staying inside my house all nice and cozy with my anime men. But yes, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right on in. After stream, I'll definitely timestamp where I start each guy's event story. So if you just want to skip to a certain guy, when the stream is over, you definitely can do that easier instead of just going through the little timestamp and hopefully. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna play through the prologue again also. So Silas, or Tartarus, I am very excited to see how everything plays out. Look at him. All right, the interrogation room. I enter the interrogation room. The predator Silas has his back facing me, yet I can sense the overflowing dangerous aura he emanates. I approach Silas and lean against the interrogation table in front of him. We meet again, Silas. Given our circumstances, however, maybe I should call you Tartarus instead.
You keep bringing me to the LCBI for small talk. Do you think I have nothing better to do?
Chains bind Silas's hands to the chair's armrests, and the collar around his neck further restricts his movements. Even though he's restrained, he could easily break free at any moment and rip my throat out if he wanted to. Fortunately, I'm the person holding the chain attached to his collar, and I'm holding it tightly. Since you're an SSS class predator who's worked as an assassin for years, we would like you to cooperate with our investigation.
I see the LCBI's intel is outdated. Allow me to give you a quick update on my circumstances. I'm a law-abiding citizen now.
Oh. Are you? Silas and I first met in Predator Outbreak when my life was hanging by a thread. Ironically, it was this assassin who saved me. He took me under his wing afterward. He taught me how to shoot, and more importantly, he taught me how to survive in this city. We lived on the edge and depended on each other for survival. However, you accepted a commission and then vanished without a trace. You mooched off me for years, but you didn't even share your bank account details before you left.
So, you've decided to mix personal grudges with your work?
He's not wrong. I've had this grudge for a long time, especially after he abandoned me. From a professional and personal standpoint, we're enemies. During the past few years, the assassin Silas vanished. Meanwhile, Tartarus, the Predator, reappeared in the public eye. And closely tied to that, Nightstrix is a criminal organization that has rapidly risen to power in Lincoln. Its authority reaches far and deep into the city. However, Silas's restrained and low-profile approach that left no evidence behind has consistently allowed him to invade incarceration. With dirt on numerous celebrities and high-ranking officials, Silas is often brought in with a show of force, only to be politely escorted out shortly after. Recalling this, I can't help but be on high alert. Anyway, let's skip this pretense of familiarity. I toss a stack of crime reports onto the table in front of him. Recently, there is an incident in the Southern District where a predator attacked someone. Our informant says it was your handiwork. Exposing yourself in such a trivial incident isn't your style. I yank the collar around his neck, and Silas's body lurches forward. He furrows his brow and glares at me for my aggression. I smile, disable the nearby surveillance camera, and lower my voice. Of course, those charges were just an excuse to bring you in. Silas, I need your help with something. Recently, a potent frenzy enhancer has appeared on the black market. Our intel suggests its source is an abandoned research facility in Lincoln's outskirts. In the past, it was used to imprison predators and conduct experiments on them. Overtrading that place would be risky, which is where you come in.
This isn't exactly how you ask people for help.
Really? I guess I have to use the method you taught me then. I unfasten the collar around Silas's neck and trace the red marks that slowly appear on his skin. As you can see, I actually know nothing about the facility, and that's why I need your help. So, will you help me or not? Silas grasps my fingertips, his intense gaze that falls on me befits a predator.
My little bird has grown up, it seems. Your wings are getting stronger with each passing day.
You should have known this would happen when you took me under your wing all those years ago. Ooh, I'm getting even more chills. So if you have his card for this event, you actually know a bit more about his relationship with the MC, how he saved her. So I'm not sure if they're going to go into detail about that in the story. But give me one sec. I think my sound is out of sync with the picture. I'll be right back. I'm going to fix that real quick. Okay, I think I fixed it, hopefully. It's like not even a full second, it's a split second difference that at least I can see, but hopefully it's not too jarring if I did not fix it. After reluctantly making a deal, Silas and I infiltrate the abandoned research facility. The building has been deserted for years, evidenced by the fallen chunks of plaster and bricks littering the floor. Several pages decorated with formulas remain intact. Its previous occupants must have left in a hurry. My eyes. After I photograph the documents, I approach a storage rack with piles of discarded boxes. This one has the label
Ever.
You seem to be familiar with this facility. Don't tell me you're somehow evolved.
Let's just say they're an old friend of mine.
So you done business with them before? Unlike the petty schemes of ordinary predators, Silas has grander plans and even greater ambition. What exactly is your relationship with Ever anyway? For a long time, I suspected they sent those men in black who always lurked around our house.
That's only part of the story. Ever tried to kill me before. It's only natural I return their kindness with a few gifts to express my gratitude.
Gifts?
I just so happened to blow up the first research facility ever used to study predators.
Well, damn. No wonder they're willing to chase you to the ends of the earth.
When you were still my contact, one of their high-ranking executives went missing. You might be on their hit list, too.
Oh joy. As we reach a turn in the staircase, a barely noticeable object catches my attention. Concealed by the weathered wall is a door. It's almost impossible to spot unless someone has keen observation skills. Light slants in from a small window above and illuminates this dormant space. Various test tubes and instruments lie scattered on the lab benches. I look around and spot an abandoned computer in the corner. Despite its heavy worn appearance, I press a button on the keyboard.
Unit DL
Oh.
039 on standby. Unit DL 039 is ready. Please enter the password.
Ooh, you think they have something easy like password 1? Capital P password 1. I think that's much better. Oh, okay. So it looks like that was kind of quick. I didn't think it would be that quick of a chapter, but alright. After we left the abandoned research facility, I decided to drive to Silas's place in the Northern District. After all, there's no safer place in the world than Silas's home. It's late. Silas is lounging on the sofa while holding an old yellow detective novel. An hour passes, and he's still reading. You okay, buddy? Is it good? Silas, are you expanding your literary knowledge or studying counter-detection tools? He looks up at me and places the book face down on his knee. His voice is devotive of emotion.
I'm cultivating drowsiness. This is the bedtime story I picked out for you after using a careful selection process. But you don't like to read, so I'm reading it myself.
I like reading. We could read together. It's more like a compilation of nightmare fuel than a bedtime story. Shortly after Silas took me in, I couldn't immediately get used to a life where enemies might show up at our doorstep at any moment. On those nights when he'd leave for a mission, I was left alone at home. It was always difficult to fall asleep. Before one of his departures, I asked him to buy me some books on his way back. Surprisingly, he agreed. Yet, How to Dispose of Your Enemy's Body, Murder on the Occident Express, The silence of the goats. Who reads these before bed?
Me.
Of course. Without looking up, he turns another page. The pleasant rustle of paper fills the air. Leaving my eccentric partner to his unique tastes, I turn my attention back to our recent findings. A research facility, partially damaged. Equipment, a working computer, and notebooks filled with countless strange codes. I pin all these clues, photos I have taken inside the facility, onto the walls of Silas's home. After I'm done, I hand him the double-sided tape.
Are all enforcers this bossy? Taking over people's houses, and even making their hands do all the work.
I take the double-sided tape back and place a half-empty water glass in his palm.
Is desk duty over? Do you need me to be your dining table now?
Silas as a piece of furniture for me? Oh, that sounds nice. Ignoring his complaints, I grab the book from his hand and use a marker to point out one of the photos. Hey, Silas, do you remember the prison cell we found? During our latest investigation, Silas and I stumbled upon a hidden floor. We were short on time that day, so we couldn't thoroughly search the area. Look, there's an odd symbol here. Silas glances at the area I circled on the photo.
That's the logo of a biopharmaceutical company under Ever. They filed for dissolution 5 years ago. Since then, it has reappeared with a new face. Now it's a company that's primarily focused on health services. Their products might be connected to the frenzy enhancer you're investigating.
Okay, we got a lead. A biopharmaceutical company. That's something. Several days later, Silas and I return to an abandoned research facility. Wary of other predators lurking inside, we use our usual plan. Silas would go in first to scout the area. But why has he been gone for so long and still doesn't return? Silas? There's only silence, and a sense of foreboding creeps over me. Finally, my worry overwhelms my weariness. Tightly holding my firearm, I carefully walk into the unknown darkness. The corridor is enshrouded in darkness. Only a few emergency lights flicker, and they can barely pierce the gloom. I continue to scan every corner for potential threats. Iron bars covered in rust line the corridor. Past the cell doors, I see muzzles and empty syringes strewn across the floor. As I venture deeper into the facility, an unsettling yet oddly familiar odor grows stronger. This scent, where did I smell it before? Right. It's the same scent from the frenzy enhancer we confiscated recently. What the hell happened then? As I turn the corner, a noise abruptly breaks the silence, and I raise my gun. I'm ready to shoot on sight. The shadowy figure easily dodges the bullet. As I prepare to shoot again, the individual lunges at me. I'm pinned against the wall. Please at least let it be Silas who's doing this. Okay. My finger is about to press this trigger, but then I recognize a familiar face and the dim lighting. Look at him breathing hard. Look at his titties. Oh, the breathing. Don't do this to me. Silas?
Didn't I tell you not to come in until you received my signal?
Silas, what happened to you? I try to move, but he locks me in place with his knee. I can't move. He must have accidentally inhaled an aerosol version of the frenzy enhancer. But how did I even get here in the first place? Were we set up? A sharp pain derails my train of thought. He has bitten my ear. Marking? His teeth pierces my skin, and a searing pain throbs at the wound. Yet the sensation is quickly replaced by the feeling of his hot tug of my ear. Holy crap! I can't let this continue. I struggle to create some distance between us while I reach for the syringe in my pocket. Hey, buddy. I brush his hair aside and forcefully inject the suppressant into his neck.
You really don't pull your punches, huh?
I mean, I enjoyed what you were doing, but we have a mission right now. Maybe afterward we could have some fun. But like, time and place, sir. If this doesn't work, I have to use my gun. Seconds pass. His agitation seems to subside, and the wild look on his face disappears. How are you feeling? Better?
You should shoot me next time this happens.
You haven't exactly gone easy on yourself either.
Any frenzied predator can easily tear your throat out.
Don't worry. If things actually spiral out of control, I won't hesitate to pull the trigger. I slowly exhale and meet his gaze. The same can be said about you.
It seems your competency has improved during my absence.
Save your compliments for later. Oh, and one more thing. I silently put my gun away. Then, I turn and swiftly punch his chest with full force. Who said you could go around biting people? I touch my sore earlobe and take a few steps. I hear a soft thud behind me. Silas? When Silas doesn't follow me like I expected, I realize something is wrong. I turn around. He has collapsed on the ground. What the hell happened? Were the suppressants that strong? I rush over to check his breathing. Thankfully, it's steady. He isn't pale, so I don't think he's in immediate danger. Is this a side effect of the frenzy enhancer? Maybe the suppressant's dosage wasn't strong enough. I pick up the syringe from the ground and see the production date on the plastic tube. Only then do I understand why he collapsed. Was it expired? I had bought the suppressant from the black market for a low price. However, its expiration date was last month. We gave this man expired suppressants? Be for real right now. There's no shot. Of course, we got it from the black market for a low price. No wonder it was expired. I'm sorry. I gave you an expired suppressant. I hope he's knocked out when I said that and I can just be like, oh, it's just a side effect, man. Totally normal suppressant. Definitely a bit more lighthearted than I expected at the end of that. We sent the computer we found. Oh, dear Lord. We sent the computer we found to the LCBI's research department. After they successfully recovered its database, everything played out as we had hoped. We obtained an important document related to Ever's experiments. It proves that Ever once imprisoned predators that were there in an attempt to create invincible biological weapons. The frenzy enhancer that's currently circulating in the black market is an improved version of the one created during past experiments. After backing up the data, we prepare to drive to Silas's home so we can store it. As the car door unlocks, I sit in the driver's seat while Silas gives me a skeptical look. I think I should drive, just to be safe.
Are you implying it's dangerous when I'm at the wheel?
How do you drive in this world, though? Silas has made quite a few enemies because of his job. That's why he usually takes me along once he finishes a commission and changes addresses. Being yanked out of bed around midnight, only to be put into the backseat of his car, is one of my most vivid memories. And the reasons he gave for these sudden moves were always unbelievable.
Wake up. Someone's here to kill me.
Fight them off yourself? That's the perfect response. That is not my problem. That is a you problem. Deal with it.
A lot of people showed up this time. Moving is easier than cleaning up the mess.
Really?
Our new place is on 47th Street. It's discreet, and the school district is decent. It's about time you got a real education, miss.
Holy I actually like how he really said it has a decent school district. He had that in mind.
Wake up. Someone's here to kill you.
Me? Oh snap. Give me a sec. Oop. Oop, oop, oop. Let me fix that. There we go. Someone's here to kill me? Me of all people? Oh, did it not go through? Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Someone's here to kill me? But I'm an innocent goody two-shoes. Why would anyone want me dead?
They're after me. It's only natural they'd be after you too. You have 10 minutes to pack your things and go downstairs.
10 minutes? Bro, how many times have we moved? We've moved more times than I can count. Contact information and burner phones were swapped out like clockwork. Sometimes I wonder if his nocturnal lifestyle was a consequence of constantly dodging his enemies. The LCBI is currently in the process of selecting its best employees. I'd rather not give anyone a reason to question my performance. After I made up an excuse, I input an address into the navigation system and ease into the accelerator. I remind Silas about putting on his seatbelt. Safety first, please.
All right, then. Start the car, rookie.
The sunlight streaming through the car window seems to bother him. He slightly winches before reaching for the sunglasses on the center console. He slips them on. After driving for a while, several intimidating SUVs suddenly appear in the rearview mirror. I make a turn, they follow, and if I press on the gas pedal, they speed up as well. Silas, do you think those cars have been following us this whole time? Accustomed to these sort of scenarios, Silas calmly taps on the car window.
It's fine. Keep driving.
Bullets whiz past the side mirror as the distance between us and our pursuer shrinks. The roar of the engines grow to a deafening crescendo. The three cars are in hot pursuit. They even attempt to ram into us a couple of times. They're right behind us. Are they crazy? Please tell me you have a plan. Silas points to something in the distance. Our car, followed by three pursuers, veers onto a wide road. Only one road work ahead sign sits in the middle of it.
You're a big girl now. I don't need to teach you how you can bend the rules, right?
I mean, I should have known it was impossible to be a good person when you're around. Then again, we're already here. It would be a shame not to make the most of this opportunity. I step on the gas and leave nothing but a long trail of exhaust for our pursuers. I told you to fasten your seatbelt. You still didn't have it on after being rammed? That is your fault if you're injured. The gunfire intensifies. I glance at the rearview mirror as Silas impatiently retrieves a long box from under the seat. He opens it and assembles the gun. Then, he gives it a once-over for loading a few rounds. What are you doing?
Isn't it obvious? I'm about to spice things up.
The car window is slightly lowered. The gun barrel is soon aimed at the people chasing us.
Floor it.
If you say so, buddy. The bullet grazes the tire with great precision. One of the car careers off the road with an air-splitting screech. In the blink of an eye, another bullet penetrates the tire on the opposite side. Our pursuers have become prey in his crosshairs. Whether they veer left or right depends on where Silas aims his gun. I'm going to make a sharp turn. Hold on tight. I turn the steering wheel as far as I can, and my action is accompanied by several precise gunshots. In the rearview mirror, I see the 3 cars collide in a shower of sparks. With a deafening roar, our pursuers vanish in a sea of flames. That was close.
It was smooth sailing. However,
Silas beckons me to come closer with the curl of his finger. When I lead toward him, he gently tucks away the strands of my hair that got tangled in the sunglasses' arms.
watch out for the cliff.
The what? You could have told me that earlier, sir. Okay. Dear God, Silas. Fast and fierce, of course. Outside, heavy clouds cover the sky as if they're waiting to unleash a downpour powerful enough to drench the entire city. Over the past few days, Silas and I have compiled our intel at the HQ of Nightstrix. At his signal, everything will be ready to pour down like a deluge that cleanses the city's corruption and sin. Deep in thought, I'm jolted back to reality as a colleague unceremoniously drops a traffic ticket on my desk. Is that for me?
Hey, there was a speeding violation on the highway a few days ago. Here's the ticket.
Shouldn't this be handled by the police and not the LCBI?
It's because the suspect is connected to a predator.
Ooh, is that me?
The one you're supervising is the LCBI's VIP at this point.
The ticket clearly shows Silas's face. As for the person next to him, a pair of sunglasses obscures their face. Oh, that sure is my ticket. Oops. Silas can pay for that. I think he'd be fine with that. I'll ask him. Before I can even leave the LCBI building, commotion engulfs the office.
Everyone outside is talking about predators being connected to Ever. How did that happen?
I heard about it. Apparently, Ever is using them for some kind of experiment.
What kind? That sounds scary.
Based on what I heard through the grapevine, Ever is supposedly the group who created the predators in Lincoln.
Silas's door is ajar. I wonder if he was expecting me. Inside the room, he's standing with his back to the door, engrossed in some kind of task. He hasn't noticed me yet. I sneak up behind him, make a finger gun, and touch his lower back. Put your hands up, Silas. This place is crawling with enforcers. You can't escape. Gonna play along? With a stoic expression, Silas peels the ticket off his face. His gaze falls on the blurry photo, and he studies it for a while.
I never imagined our photo would end up on an official document like this.
We should frame it. How else did you expect them to end up together? Ignoring my question, he sets down the half-loaded gun and walks towards the living room. Curious, I follow him. He pins the traffic ticket to the investigation board on the wall. Our comical traffic camera picture is surrounded by a grisly collage of crime scene photos. They act as the world's most unconventional picture frame.
We have to get a clearer shot next time.
What do you mean by next time? Silas offers me a slight smile with no explanation. Baffled, I plop onto the sofa again. The TV is broadcasting the news report that's been a hot topic these past few days. Of course, it involves Silas and me. Rumors about Ever, the frenzy enhancer, and predators has spread to every corner of the city. However, Ever seems to have anticipated this. They prepared a well-written statement to ease public speculation. And last night, a sudden fire consumed the abandoned research facility. A sudden fire, huh? The traces of past experiments and lingering evidence of their wrongdoing. Everything vanished in flames. They say a storm is brewing. Don't tell me you're the one pulling the strings.
You're a meteorologist now?
Besides, the more chaos there is, the more someone benefits. Lately, Nitrix has become synonymous with omnipotence. They're a conduit for all sort of business deals done legally and illegally. The man before me is less a dangerous predator and more like a chess master who controls the direction of the game. But I haven't been able to figure out whether he intends to save Lincoln or destroy it. What if I find myself on an opposing side? Will you shoot me?
I'm pretty sure I taught you not to waste time on pointless hypotheticals. Am I mistaken? Besides, you should be well aware of your options.
Like what?
You can leave, or you can stand by my side.
With mixed emotions, I clench my fist as if I'm holding a microphone. I bring it to his mouth. Here's $1 million question for you, Mr. Silas. Let's say you wanted to destroy Lincoln. How long would that take?
10.
Days? 10 months? 10 weeks? Or 10 days? Don't say hours. Don't say hours.
9, 8.
Oh, it's a
7.
countdown? Yes, sir. No, stop, please. What do you mean it was a countdown? Do not tell me that's how it ends, though. Do not. What? I forgot event stories are so short, because when I played Silas's card story, it was so long, it gave me so much details and backstory of everything. Oh my god. That was too short. Can I get more? Can I get more? I want to hang out with Silas more. Look at him. That's baby girl. That's my birdie. Okay, that was really cute. I think best part is us giving him the expired suppressant and this man just passing out. I'm so glad they didn't have him reprimand us for that, because I know he'd be so pissed at that happening. He's like, how? How did you buy something expired? Why did you not check the expiration date? All right, so that was that one. Obviously a lot of cute moments with him. So as I am assuming, since I read Silas's card story, all the more darker details will be in the actual card story. So if you want to see their story for this event in more depth, you would have to get the card. So gotcha, money, unless you're very lucky. I end up getting Silas's, Raphael's, and Caleb's cards. So I am very good right now with the stories. I have like my favorite boys, so it should be good. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Raphael's again. So as always, start with the prologue and then we'll go through everything else. As I expected, the figure restrained in their interrogation room's chair shows no signs of being distressed. He looks more like an honored guest who's been cordially invited. When I walk in, his gaze sweeps over the row of interrogation tools before landing on me.
Is this cutesy display the best you can do for your esteemed guests?
Okay, sir. I have you arrested. It's not the other way around. I sit down at the interrogation table, and my expression remains the same. I purposely avoid touching the file in front of me. You're right. The usual tactics used by us are inappropriate for an SSS class predator. Especially for you, Tamino. The confined space amplifies the strength in my words. It makes Raphael's scoffs sounds particularly grating. But I'm used to this. Unfazed by the suspect's provocation, I nonchalantly continue speaking. Recently, the city became aware of Flow and Fire's great deeds, and you, their leader, proved to be elusive. It wasn't easy, but in the end, I got you in the palm of my hand. The man I considered as good as caught finally looks up. An ambiguous smile appears on his face.
I see you're still relentlessly chasing after me, like a desperate playboy chasing skirts.
Okay.
I trust all is well since we last saw each other, my dear supervisor.
He's not wrong. I was his supervisor back then, and we spent a considerable amount of time together. Before he became a predator, he was a renowned opera singer. Former supervisor, you mean?
Yeah, but someone here wants to reconnect.
I don't think I was given a choice. I stand up and move closer to the railing, which allows Raphael's gaze to follow me. It's as if he's watching a prey willingly fall into a trap. A potent frenzy enhancer has appeared on the market, and we trace its source to an abandoned building near Lincoln suburbs. The building was used to imprison predators who had been experimented on. We know one of his escapees later joined Flow and Fire.
So, you want me to help you find this person?
This individual was also a test subject. They probably have information about the frenzy enhancer.
I'm afraid you're talking to the wrong person. I'm not interested in these drugs.
Cooperation requires negotiation. I'm not here to negotiate with you, though. In other words, you're here to lend a hand. Raphael slightly flexes his wrist that's still restrained.
Do people in the LCBI use incarceration as a way to ask for help?
It's one of the LCBI's methods. However, I have my own way of doing things. I tap the panel in front of me a few times. The restraints binding Raphael to the chair disappear. You good? From this point on, think of it as my personal invitation. You can decide whether to accept it or not. Like a king of beasts emerging from its den, Raphael takes a moment to stretch languidly.
Once we're out of the LCBI's jurisdiction, you'll be in my territory. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a taste of being a supervisor for once.
Okay, buddy, don't get ahead of yourself now. Okay, so we're looking for a member of his troop, Flow and Fire. Hopefully it's someone that does not give us a lot of problems when we want to ask them questions. I doubt it, though. After a thorough investigation, we discover a discarded audio chip in one of the abandoned building's offices. Hoping to uncover new leads by repairing the chip, Raphael and I return to the LCBI building. Along the way, we notice that almost every wall was haphazardly plastered with wanted posters. A few of them feature familiar predator criminals, yet a majority have a picture of the man walking beside me. Ooh. You can keep one as a souvenir, right?
The Northern District is more welcoming than I expected.
You'd be even more popular if they didn't run out of space. I turn to one of the walls to admire his accomplishments. Each wanted poster has a different charge. It takes a novel to cover all your crimes. As I look through the charges, my gaze lands on one of the destruction of public property. Popped a balloon mascot outside of a restaurant via a bite. It shot up 100 meters into the air before disappearing. That's like something like a child or a dog would do. The owner's testimony states that they were by the window and thought they saw fireworks. When they went outside to check, they realized their waiter was flying away.
This predator isn't picky about the crimes they commit. Thanks.
Bro, don't tell me he just does whatever he wants. He's like, oh, I don't like that. I'll just destroy it. I don't care if it's a crime or not. Wait a second. These wanted posters actually say you're the perpetrator? Hesitant, I shift my gaze to Raphael's face, but the alleged culprit seems to be unfazed.
Are there other interesting ones?
What other crimes has this man does? Do they have one for jaywalking? Apart from some serious and dangerous ones, a majority of the charges are as trivial as he stole snacks from the vending machines. Like, it's a crime, but it's like petty stuff. This one and this one? I don't think you do stuff like that. Are there other predators who are bold enough to commit crimes under your name? Raphael lifts his head and scans the wanted posters. He mimics my scrutiny from earlier.
Being able to pin their crimes on me is probably the only thing you can get out of being part of Flow and Fire. It doesn't really offer anything else.
Oh, they're not even his crimes. That's even funnier, and he just does not care. Amidst the sea of wanted posters, it's impossible to discern which crimes, if any, are actually his. Puzzled, I look at the wanted posters again. I notice something odd about the pictures. From impressionist to abstract art, there's a portrait of Raphael in every possible art style. No wonder there's a bizarre mix of crimes here. With all these abstract paintings and simple sketches, you have to be an idiot not to pin random charges on you.
And you took your sweet time to notice something was off.
Bro, give me a break. That's because I know you. Those abstract doodles just turn to realistic portraits in my mind.
Really?
Raphael leans in, and his face is suddenly the only thing I can see. Stunned, I try to avoid his intense gaze, but I fail to hide the warmth creeping up my neck.
Why are you blushing?
I'm not.
I just want to see what this realistic version of me looks like in your eyes.
You won't see him even if you're this close. Flustered, I raise my hand and frantically trace a simple stick figure in the air. A circle for the head, a line for the body, 2 sticks for the arms, and 2 sticks for the legs. That's the you in my eyes.
It's not any different from the balloon mascot on that wanted poster.
Raphael accepts this and puts some distance between us. Yet just as I'm about to breathe a sigh of relief, an unexpected cool sensation touches my ear. Did you just lick me?
I wonder, do you get this flustered with every balloon mascot?
Raphael gently pinches my ear. Instead of the coolness of his touch sending a shiver down my spine, he rushes to my face. Who gave you permission to speculate about enforcers' behavior? And just so you know, it's hot out here. Either way, we'll need to take your photo for these wanted posters someday. It doesn't matter if you're a balloon person or a rubber ball person. As we reach the ground floor of the LCBI building, I sign for a package with daily necessities. Then I hand it to Raphael. Here, carry your own things.
What's in it?
Everything you need for your stay. You don't want to spend your time in their Toyoshi room with air, right?
I can't tell if you're overestimating that shabby room or underestimating me.
I should have brought in your wanted poster that mentions property damage. We might need it soon. After staying downstairs for a bit, I contact the investigation department and hand over the recovered audio chip to a colleague. However, they glance at it once and say the mysterious chip was recovered has corrupted data. The trail goes cold. Unsure of what to do next, I...
Follow me. I know of a secret workshop that can fix it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, so looks like for Raphael's story, we find an audio chip. Not sure what's gonna be in it. I'm assuming something like recorded notes from like a researcher. So hopefully whatever his connection is, they can fix that chip perfectly and we can figure out what's going on. I do love how everyone in this troop is pinning all their crimes on Raphael, and he just has a gazillion posters up all over the walls of the city. And he does not even care about it. It's like, yeah, I probably did the crime. You never know. I follow Raphael to the place he mentioned. As soon as we stepped inside, we're greeted by big band music. It's not the heavy metal or sultry tones that are popular in the Southern District. The melody is surprisingly romantic and mellow. Aw, I was jamming to it. The music stops as we enters, and someone walks downstairs, or rather, a predator appears. Raphael gives him the chip without even saying hello.
This shouldn't take a long time to fix, yeah? You're not allowed to be curious, so don't worry about it.
I suppress the urge to round up everyone here. Once the person leaves to repair the chip, I whisper in Raphael's ear. The people, predators here, are they all part of Flow and Fire?
Do you think that organization is a shelter for predators?
Then why is he so obedient when he comes to you? Are you controlling them with a mysterious power?
What do you mean?
Maybe you use your voice to enhance people. You did it in Siren's Song, the opera you performed in. Exasperated, Raphael sighs and touches his forehead. My speculations continue unabated. Does Tamino, an infamous criminal, secretly sing to himself in the middle of the night?
Your imagination knows no bounds. Are you like this with every prisoner you have in custody?
Only the pretty ones? Since he's not taking the bait, I purse my lips and decide to stop prying. I'm just curious about what you're like when you're singing. After all, your file says you used to be an opera singer. The leader of a predator organization and a performer in the arts. It's hard not to be intrigued since those two roles are so different.
Aren't you afraid my singing might bewitch you? You'll be at my mercy.
Or I'm an exception. I could be immune to your charms. Let's put it to the test. Sing a few lines. Do you know the song that's playing in the shop right now? Raphael, sing to me? When Raphael opens his mouth, the words flow naturally with the melody. He's actually thinking. I thought I wouldn't be able to convince him today. I plan on being an impartial listener, yet when I recognize the song I requested, something in my heart rises and falls with the rhythm. In the span of one song, I find myself in that peaceful dream from before. There are no predators in that Lincoln. And in this dreamy version of the city, Raphael and I seem to have many memories together.
It's fixed.
Oh. And just as swiftly as he had drawn me into a reverie, the same person shows me back to reality. I hold my breath as I listen to the recording on the repaired chip. A single sentence plays over and over again. Are you serious? That's it? That doesn't really help, but okay, I guess it points in some arbitrary direction. The experiment has begun. That doesn't really help me out. Like, we know an experiment happened, but we don't have like any concrete data about it. Okay, let's go to the next part then. It has to be the command for the starting the experiments on the predators. It's not difficult to deduce that the predator who ran to Flow and Fire will be terrified of this sound. Time is of the essence. Raphael and I grab the repair chip and head to Flow and Fire's base. We'll use it to identify our target. Okay, that's actually smart. I was not thinking about using that to scare the person who was using the experiments. While waiting for everyone to gather, I opened Raphael's refrigerator and unexpectedly discovered something. I'm shocked. Don't let it be like a body part. Oh, it's not. Okay. Honeydew flavored yogurt drinks. I remember how you only drank that back then. I never met anyone as picky as you. Your taste hasn't changed a bit. Raphael's hand, which is in the middle of fastening his wrist guard, pauses. He ends up securing it incorrectly.
I never got around to drinking them. They've been sitting there for a while now.
But the expiration dates are from several months ago. In fact, it'll be a while before they expire. Raphael attempts to bite open the fastener, but he destroys it in the process. Frustrated, he tears off the entire wrist guard and tosses it aside. Do we have extras of those?
You're in enemy territory, but you still have the gall to play detective. You gotta search every nook and cranny, huh?
Isn't that why we're here? The more evidence we gather, the more worthwhile this trip becomes. I busy myself with looking through Raphael's quarters, and he doesn't try to stop me. Instead, he adopts the suit yourself attitude. A few items tucked away in a corner catch my eye. Ropes decorated with sharp spikes, and gloves as tough as stone. Are these Flow and Fire's interrogation tools? No wonder you scoffed at the tools in LCBI's interrogation room. I guess we can learn a thing or two from you.
Those are only used on Flow and Fire's traitors.
When you're their leader, which predator would be foolish enough to think about betraying you?
What kind of leader do you think I am?
I don't know, a strict one maybe? One who's exceptionally talented with using his teeth. Am I right? If I were to poke Raphael's face right now, it'd probably be even harder than those gloves.
I know what you're really up to. This investigation is just an excuse to go undercover here.
I don't get a chance like this every day, so of course I'm going to milk you for every bit of intel I can get. Raphael looks at me and nods. He seems to be playing along.
How do you plan to accomplish that?
Using only words won't work on him. I need to utilize a more hands-on approach. I reach into my pocket and pull out a few shell casings. Let's make a deal. These will be yours in exchange for intel. You can use them to make a metal fastener. It'll be stronger than the one you bit through. Here you go, buddy.
We'll see how useful they are once I try them out.
He welds the shell casing in his hands. An expression reveals his disappointment. He turns around as if he's ready to throw them away. However, he wraps the shell casings with the wrist guard he discarded and puts them into a cabinet. He accepted my offer. Time to make the most out of this. With a handful of lightweight shell casings, I've earned myself a golden ticket to search this place. I eagerly start my investigation. What's this?
The latest neurotoxin on the market. 1 milligram is enough to make someone wish they were dead.
Ooh, okay. And this?
A souvenir. from the last time we had an uninvited guest. Some of their blood should still be on it.
Okay.
I was joking.
He presses the strange dice in my hand. Suddenly, the boring soap opera we watched together is projected onto the wall. And this be another one of his strange gadgets from the Southern District's black market. Oh right, since we're updating your wanted poster, we might as well rewrite your file while we're at it. Determined to turn the tables, I open a honeydew flavored yogurt drink and teasingly wave the bottle at Raphael. If word got out that the honeydew flavored yogurt drinks are an infamous SSS class predator's guilty pleasure, it tarnished your reputation, right?
You made yourself at home without my permission, and even assumed my preferences.
You're gonna drink it though, right?
Should I set up a dedicated observation room for you? That way you can keep an eye on me 24/7.
Not opposed to that idea. Just letting you know, I would watch you all the time. Raphael steps forward and swiftly takes the assortment of odd trinkets I collected. He places them on the table behind him.
But Miss Enforcer, please don't tell me you forgot the real reason for your visit.
Oh right, I'm here for work, aren't I? Definitely didn't forget. Was just having some fun. Because of Raphael's command, the current members of Flow and Fire quickly assemble. When the restore recording replays, I watch from the shadows. I merely spot a predator whose intense reaction gave him away. Under relentless questioning, he finally coughed up a set of coordinates. The location leads us to the top floor of the abandoned building. Alright, we know where to go. I kind of like how even though he's like a criminal in that chapter, we still have like cute little moments with this man. We're just going around his base asking questions even though we're technically on opposite sides. Just imagine going to your enemy's territory and just going like, hey, what's this? What do you use this for? I'll make sure to update your file in the criminal system. Using the coordinates we extracted from the escapee, Raphael and I returned to the abandoned building with the research equipment. An unsettling aura permeates the air. The mechanisms hidden throughout the facility, once dormant, seem to stir with ominous intent. Someone rolled out the red carpet for us. They even went through all the trouble of activating these traps.
Is that it? Our hosts aren't very good at their job. This welcome party sucks.
If it were just a few floors, we could walk in and out without a problem. But our target is at the very top. It's a shame the elevator is broken. We couldn't get it working last time we were here.
While the other traps have clocked in, that elevator should have joined them.
Do you think you can give it a wake-up call?
This type of elevator has an internal propulsion system. We can use the reaction force to move it.
Are you saying we'll be getting on a rocket? Is that safe, sir? Like, already messing with an elevator is, not ideal. We weave our way through the corridor and avoid the traps along the way. We soon stand in front of the elevator at the center of the floor. Without breaking a sweat, Raphael pries open the closed elevator doors. The heavy metal slabs might as well be flimsy paper fans in his hands. The elevator is crammed. It's crammed with discarded research equipment. I have to suck my stomach in just to squeeze through the tiny gap in the clutter.
I don't get a VIP seat.
You can't move it yourself? Maybe you should be the one to power this thing. I can investigate by myself. The thunderous slam of the elevator doors is immediately followed by Raphael's fluffy hair unexpectedly brushing against my ear. Once I steadied myself, he ignites the elevator's mechanism with flames, and the cramped metal box transforms into a deep-sea submarine that's ready to plunge into the unknown. The elevator shoots up like a column of fire and leaves the sluggish traps behind. Their attacks can't even reach us. The elevator comes to an abrupt stop at the top floor. When we step out, we're greeted by a sea of warnings. They're clearly meant for us.
You know, they need to try harder if they want to scare anyone.
It sounds like you have experience in this. Flown fires and famous crime announcements are made by their esteemed leader, huh? His ambiguous expression only fuels my frustration. Memories of countless nights at the office, all thanks to Flown Fire's antics, flood into my mind. Anger courses through every fiber of my being. Do you have any idea how much of a nightmare it is to remove those things once they get into the LCBI system? I've lost countless of all-nighters I had to do because of them.
Then ignore them next time. There, problem solved.
Okay, buddy. I push down the bubbling anger in my chest and refocus. My eyes lock onto the large pile of discarded devices before us. The escapee's testimony echoes in my mind. Somewhere in this room hides the item we need.
Shh. Did you hear that?
Just as I'm about to continue our search with renewed determination, Raphael pulls me towards him. My forehead slams into his chest, and I can feel the metal studs on his belt digging into me. For a moment, I can only see stars. I lift my head, ready to give him a piece of my mind. But before I can act, I freeze. The sound of approaching footsteps resounds behind us. Did someone else find this place?
They don't know what they're in for. You focus on finding the device. I'll deal with our uninvited guests.
I meticulously scan each object with my portable equipment. Meanwhile, Raphael unleashes flames to flush out our enemies that lurk in the shadows. Just as Raphael finishes cleaning up, the formula for the potent frenzy enhancer I've been desperately trying to find appears before me. I roll around, eager to share the good news. Yet it's at that moment I see a fireball. I yell at him. Raphael, you can't do pyrotechnics indoors. The flames are extinguished just before they can spiral out of control. Crisis averted. As for the culprit, he shows no signs of remorse. Raphael saunters over, pretending to be concerned. His index finger brushes against the tip of my nose.
You're covered in soot.
And whose fault is that, sir? Yeah, right? Whose fault is that? Who sets fire indoors? I swat his hand away and touch my own face. Sure enough, my palm is covered in black soot. My frustration bubbled over. I take this chance to stand on my tiptoes and catch Raphael off guard. I happily smear the suit onto his face. Ooh, I love this one. Hold on, y'all. Just grabbing his little face and squishing his precious cheeks. Look at him, all pouty. Do you like it? I know you like the affection.
If you want to avenge yourself, I know of a quicker method.
As soon as he broke free from my grasp, he leaned in to press his cheek and nose against my face. Raphael, your muzzle is poking me. I forgot those are supposed to be muzzles. No fireworks indoors. That's definitely something you gotta tell Raphael on a daily basis. With the new evidence, the mystery around the case starts to unravel. However, more parties being involved means the situation is escalating. Raphael, having no direct connection to this, has been released. Although his impromptu pyrotechnics didn't cause any real damage, I still gave him a hefty fine. Arson has been added to his list of crimes. Unfortunately, the peace is short-lived. Today, Flow and Fire, which had temporarily ceased all activity, issued another chilling crime announcement. I decided to apprehend the suspect solo. To my surprise, I managed to extract him from Flow and Fire's base and bring him back to the LCBI without a hitch. Of course, it's Raphael again.
I realized the LCBI had renovated its interrogation room. Nice photo studio you've got here.
Are you reminiscing about your time behind bars? Don't worry, I'll give you a tour of your old accommodations later. But first things first, we need to update your picture for the wanted poster. I adjust the background and guide Raphael into the chair. Surprisingly, he doesn't resist. Ready to channel my inner photographer, I set up the camera. When the flash appears, Raphael squints under the bright light.
Are you even good at taking pictures?
I'm pretty decent, I would say for myself. Thank you very much. The number of photos I've taken is greater than the wanted poster with your names. I admit my subjects are usually crime scenes though. You'll see what happens when you doubt a photographer's skills. I force myself to view Raphael through the lens, as if he were nothing more than an inflatable tube man with super flexible waiting to be positioned. A little more to the left. No, go to the right. Okay, so your body should be on the left. Now you tilt your head to the right.
You're so picky.
It's gonna be a perfect crime photo for you though. Despite his frown, Raphael tries to follow my instructions. Move your left eyebrow up a bit. The right one should go down, and the corner of your mouth needs to be symmetrical. Hey, stop fidgeting. Raphael, who's in my viewfinder, ignores me. He walks out of frame. And the next second, my smile freezes as a soft sensation gently caresses my cheek. He caught me off guard. And my hand, still gripping the camera, seems to short circuit because of the conflicting signals my brain has sent. My finger presses the shutter button before I realize it.
Looks like you got the evidence of my felony.
It was just the slightest of touches, yet my heart felt like it was ready to burst out of my chest. Raphael, I'm adding another crime to your laundry list of offenses.
You might want to save that for later, because there's more to come.
Oh? Huh? My breath hitches as I'm suddenly pulled forward. Before I can process what's happening, I find myself pressing against him. But his next move stuns me. He raises the camera above our heads. A photo, somewhere between a selfie and a portrait, slides out of the camera. It captures this unexpected moment. Why is my heart racing? Before I can reach for it, Raphael swiftly pastes our pictures over his freshly printed wanted poster. Are you trying to make me a backup in your crime or something?
The simplest way to find me is to go to you. That's just how it is, right? And take a closer look. In the photo, I'm the one backing you up.
I lean in to examine the photo and see Raphael behind me. But that wasn't the only thing. One detail in particular stands out. A metallic button on the wrist near my collarbone. It's the same color as the shell casing. It suits you. Well, we have your photo now. You better be careful since catching you'll be easy.
You can't bring yourself to wish me well. I see.
He softly sighs, yet doesn't call me out on my clumsy attempt at professionalism.
Someone's a little too familiar with my base. To ensure my safety in the future, I might need to relocate.
As he speaks, Raphael approaches the city map hanging on the wall. He studies it with great interest. I walk up to him, grab a marker, and circle a place next to the LCBI's building. I hope you find a spot near the LCBI. That way you won't have to travel far when we invite you over.
No need.
Raphael glances at me before grabbing the marker and taking my hand. He writes his name on my palm. Don't do this to me, man.
As far as I can tell, there's no better territory.
Oh, Raphael, don't. You want to be owned by me? I love that. But bro, my heart can't handle that. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, Sabito. Okay. Oh my god. I like that. I like the playfulness we get with Raphael, even though bro's probably done a lot of crimes, probably got a few bodies underneath him. And as always, a lot of the deeper details about finding the recordings and the predator that was experimented on probably won't get that unless you have his card story. So I definitely want to play that later, probably in a different stream. Let me collect my rewards. Okay, next we have is Caleb. We have probably, he has the same ranking as Raphael for me right now after finishing the main story with him. It might go up. He might be my number 2 once I start reading his actual stories. But yes, Caleb, we are ready to see Caleb. We're gonna play through its prologue as always. As the door to the interrogation room closes, sounds from the outside world are silenced. Good evening, Mr. Councilman. The thing I love about Caleb's design for this, they actually have him with a collar and a chain so you can just pull him wherever you want. That's the best part. The soft clink of chains disturbs the quietness as Caleb lifts his head. His gaze meets mine. This famous councilman of the Northern District maintains the composure even when he's restrained to a chair. And when he sees me, a faint smile appears on his face. I guess you're settling in quite nicely.
It's an interesting experience, I'll give it that.
I take a seat at the table, open the file before me, and read the charges against him out loud. Allegedly, Councilman Caleb from the Northern District is suspected of bribing LCBI officials. He intends to interfere with the LCBI's standard protocols. As such, an arrest warrant and investigation have been conducted. How will you respond to these charges? Instead of answering my question, he crosses his legs and shifts into a more comfortable position. With unhurried composure, he looks at me.
Before I answer your question, Miss Enforcer, I have a personal conundrum that must be addressed. I hope you can help me clarify the situation.
Oh, please, do tell, and I will try to the best of my abilities to help you clarify this situation. Go on.
As far as I'm aware, the LCBI needs to undergo a rather complex process to obtain an arrest warrant for a councilman.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
I'm curious. I wonder who would use such a method. All for the sake of detaining me, no less.
Even though it's presented as an inquiry, his gaze is fixated on me. He already knows the answer. I lower my voice and lean in toward his ear. If you knew it was me, then why did you willingly comply?
Did it ever occur to you that I complied because I knew it was you?
Caleb, don't do this to me, please, bro. I can't handle this. So, Caleb, how will you respond to these charges? Caleb doesn't say a word as he meets my gaze again. Then, he sighs as if he's finally conceding.
You accuse me of bribery. Are you referring to the evening of the day before yesterday? A certain enforcer invited me to visit her home for a private discussion.
And I, ooh. Ah. Well, Mr. Caleb, you'll be detained on suspicion of obstructing the LCBI. Once the formalities are completed, I can't hold myself back anymore. I reach for the wall and switch off the listening device. This is an interrogation room, not your living room. You could at least try to hide our relationship, Mr. Councilman.
So, your goal was to actually lock me up?
At least you're safe here. The fact that Caleb is an SSS class predator is a secret only known to him and me. Recently, Caleb attended a banquet, and someone deliberately released a large amount of frenzy enhancer spray to cause chaos. Although the incident was quickly contained, reports accusing Caleb of being a predator flooded the internet. Whoever the mastermind is has been planning this for a while. They're trying to create a scandal and force you out of office. Regardless of their plans, they can't touch you while you're under the LCBI's protection. For now, at least.
In other words, you'll keep me here until the public outcry dies down.
Do you have a problem with that?
Not really. I'll just treat this as a vacation that I don't often get. Besides, our lovely enforcer wouldn't have the heart to leave me all by myself, right?
You are right on that front. I can give you that. I pretend I didn't see the mischievous glint in his eyes and clear my throat. Given your unique position, it wouldn't be appropriate for you to remain within the LCBI building indefinitely. I slide a document across the table for Caleb to see. I touch the control panel, and the restraints around Caleb's body instantly clatter to the ground. Shortly after your identity was exposed, there was a series of predator attacks across the Northern District. The traces of frenzy enhancer we found at those crime scenes matched the frenzy enhancer spray from the banquet. Our investigation revealed that all these frenzy predators were spotted near an abandoned building in the Southern District at some point. Considering how you lived in both the Northern District and Southern District, I made a request on your behalf. You'll be acting as a special consultant. You'll be assisting me with this investigation. However, you must remain within my line of sight at all times. For this assignment, you can't leave without my approval either. Worried he might not cooperate, I quickly add to my statement. You already pleaded guilty. You don't have an option to refuse.
I could never say no to your requests anyway.
Oh. Alright, and we have our precious councilman by our side. So interesting how we knew he was a predator, but it was only a secret between him and I. Huh. And I wonder how their relationship started too. What's his name? Perseus. Okay. Yeah, Tartarus, Tamino, and then Perseus. After discussing our options, Caleb and I decide to investigate the abandoned building. We climb the steps of the facility, only to find our path blocked by a locked iron gate at the entrance. That's weird. This place has been abandoned for years. Why would some go out of their way to block the entrance?
There's not a speck of dust on the lock. Someone's been here recently. Looks like we're on the right track.
We had a dead end though. Do you have any bright ideas, my special consultant? Kick down the door? I poke Caleb and encourage him to come up with a plan. Caleb gently passed my outstretched hand before turning his attention to our surroundings.
You throw your weight around the moment we're out of the LCBI's jurisdiction, huh? You're a smart cookie, Miss Enforcer.
Oh, I know, but you can continue praising me for all you want. Since I have you in the palm of my hand, I should make the most of this opportunity.
Ah, so it's like that. I see.
Suddenly, Caleb leans in close. His face is very close to mine. What are you... Under his amused gaze, I hold my breath. My heart starts racing before I know it.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
Caleb, you... Before I can finish, he gently pinches my nose. Don't do that. Still smiling, Caleb pulls his hand back.
I haven't seen your nose get scrunched up like that before. My curiosity got the best of me. Whoops.
Whoops, yeah, okay. We're done playing around. Thanks to Caleb's suggestions, we make our way around to the other side of the building. In an unassuming corner, I spot a small, easily overlooked window. I stand on my tiptoes and try to gauge the distance between me and it. We need to find something to stand on first. Caleb, we should... Caleb? I turn around, but Caleb has vanished without a trace. You couldn't say anything? Where are you? I look up toward the source of the sound and see Caleb is leaning out of the window. How? With his chin propped up on his hand, he mischievously smiles at me.
Need a lift?
Yeah, sure, you're offering... You had a plan, but you didn't tell me, but that's fine. How did you even get us there?
We haven't seen each other in forever, so you forgot what I'm capable of? Are you ready? I'll bring you up now.
How? Caleb makes a slight gesture with his hand. In the blink of an eye, I'm floating in mid-air. Of course he's using his evol.
Give me your hand.
This better be safe. With the window close to me, I lift my foot. I'm ready to climb over the frame. I can do it myself. Yet I soon find myself suddenly drifting away from the window. No! Caleb, how old do you think you are? You're a child.
I'm pretty sure I'm old enough to sweep you off your feet this week.
Go away, you're such a damn child. You play too much. I nimbly climb through the window. With Caleb's steady hand supporting me, I smoothly land inside the building's corridor. Desolation unfolds before us with overturned office chairs, paper strewn across the floor, and withered potted plants. Caleb and I are in what appears to be a medication room, complete with clutter and dirty vials. We comb through the mess. Hopefully, something was left behind so we can use it as a clue.
Usage report, anti-laughter capsules.
Standing before an old, rust-covered filing cabinet, Caleb plucks a dusty folder from the depths of a drawer. Intrigued, I take a closer look. Treatment for uncontrollable fits of laughter or episodes of inappropriate mirth and solitude. Directions: take orally with water. 1 dose reduces laughter. 2 doses completely suppresses it. The report we read said this place used to be a secret research facility owned by Ever. I guess finding something like this is to be expected. But it was shut down decades ago because of an incident. If I'm not mistaken, I access the LCBI's database on my device and look up information related to the company.
It was closed down after the authorities discovered the illegal experiments in non-compliant drug manufacturing.
How did you know that?
I was the one who approved the proposal for its assets to be seized. It seems Ever was particularly interested in this company. They even sent people to contact Caleb privately. It was probably an attempt to illegally influence him via unofficial channels.
Judging by the state of this place, you must have resisted their advances. Well done. I straightened my posture and give him a thumbs up.
Or they didn't know which buttons to push.
So you're saying you can be bribed. Caleb seems unperturbed by our conversation. He pulls out an old, worn mechanical box from under the workbench and carefully examines it. I suspect they're people who leaked your status as a predator.
The chances of that being the case have definitely increased.
Caleb pulls out a slightly chipped vial from the box. I approach him, but a familiar scent hits my nose before I'm even near him. This smells like the frizzy enhancer we found at the last place we investigated. Caleb and I exchange looks. It seems Ever has dark secrets. Okay. So he's the reason why the research facility was closed down in the first place. So it definitely seems like a reason why Ever wanted to out him as a predator if he's always in their way. We brought the frenzy enhancer vial back to HQ for analysis. It didn't take long for me to get the report. I haul a pile of equipment up to the top floor of the watchtower. It's time to play my next move with Caleb. Caleb, open the door. The watchtower stands as the tallest structure in the Southern District. It's also where Caleb and I spent our childhood together. Since Caleb's current residence isn't safe right now, this place has once again become our sanctuary. I hear footsteps from inside the room. The door swings open to reveal Caleb wearing comfortable loungewear. Caleb relieves me of my equipment and steps aside. He ushers me into the room.
I'm guessing you dug up some leads. What did you find?
Someone's been releasing large quantities of Frenzy Enhancer onto the Southern District's black market. As I speak, I sit on the sofa and spread out everything I brought. The LCBI can't exactly waltz right in, so we haven't been able to identify the seller. Caleb approaches me with a plate of freshly washed strawberries. He notices how the table is covered with materials I laid out. With a resigned smile, he has no choice but to sit next to me. He's still holding the plate.
You're going undercover to continue your investigation in the black market, then?
I applaud his deduction. Caleb, you know me so well.
You're too kind. But on a more serious note, you're not actually gonna bring all this stuff with you, right?
Caleb sweeps over the equipment before zeroing in on a roll of duct tape. He picks it up and raises an eyebrow as he looks at me.
So, how exactly did you plan to use this?
If we catch someone, we can interrogate them on the spot. Then again, I turn to Caleb. When handling difficult people is evolved, you're more experienced with this than I am, Mr. Councilman.
Well, I'd say my field of expertise is in negotiations rather than interrogations.
My curiosity is piqued. Will you share some of your negotiation tips with me?
Do you actually want to learn a thing or two?
I nod. Smiling, he passed the spot next to him on the sofa, and I scoot closer. Caleb places a plate of strawberries on my lap. He gestures for me to snap while we talk.
Let's see. For most people, you need to build trust first. They gotta feel comfortable enough to open up. For more difficult cases, you might have to up the ante and steer the conversation. The easiest way to get the truth out of someone involves guiding them into a situation that's already in your favor.
absentmindedly pick up a strawberry and bite into it. I'm still confused. Can you give me an example? Instead of explicitly answering my question, Caleb taps the plate in my hand.
Before that, why don't we discuss the strawberries you've been stealing?
What do you mean stealing? They're from me, right? You gave me the plate. This is an offering. Stealing? You're the one who... I trail off. Caleb never said I could eat the strawberries. He just used gestures and subtle clues to guide me into doing it. Oh.
Do you understand how it works now?
Yeah.
You guide someone into a misunderstanding so they make a mistake. It'll be a situation you planned ahead of time.
Okay. I don't think I'm that smart enough to plan that far ahead, but I will try just for you.
After that, you need to question them. When confronted, most people will try to defend themselves. Under these circumstances, even a nudge can make them tell the truth.
Caleb looks at me with a faint smile. So that's how it works.
However,
Caleb's tone shifts and mischief creeps into his voice.
sometimes an obvious trap is a cover for your real objective.
When I give him a puzzled look, the corners of his mouth curl into a grin. Do not tell me you drugged the strawberries, please.
For instance, these strawberries will go bad in a few days.
Okay,
I
we're
needed
good.
someone to help me finish them.
Okay, that's not that bad. You're blatantly deceiving an enforcer. Just so you know, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Caleb chuckles at my faux indignation. He stands up.
Alrighty then. Caleb's class is dismissed.
He's caught off guard when I pull him back. He falls onto the sofa, and I place my hands on either side of his head. I lean down. Oh, yes! I have a trick up my sleeve too. I hold a strawberry to his lips. This is how I get people to be my accomplice. Caleb's eyes slightly widen. He's surprised by my counterattack. I press the strawberry against his lips, and a trail of pink juice trickles down. At that moment, I become aware of the warm, racing heartbeat near my hand. It dawns on me belatedly that we're so close. Our breaths are mingling. I try to pull back, but he grasps my wrists. Caleb slightly turns his head and bites the strawberry.
Now, we're accomplices.
Oh, don't do this to me. Oh, duh. I'm strictly a Silas girly, but Caleb, my god. They made Caleb in a lab specifically for me. All of his traits, his mannerisms, everything, just, it appeals to my heart so bad. I thought tracking down the suspect who sold the frenzy enhancer would be challenging. To my surprise, Caleb revealed that he already knew the suspect's whereabouts before we entered the black market. I thought you stayed in the watchtower. Where did you get this intel from? Caleb and I are posing as customers in front of a black market stall. We're keeping an eye on the rundown pharmacy across the street.
There are plenty of ways to gather intel on someone.
Oh?
And sure, I might not be able to show my face in public, but that doesn't mean I'm cut off from the world.
Turning his head slightly to the side, Caleb lowers his voice as he speaks. If you ever need a job, come to the LCBI. We could use someone with your talents.
Does that mean you'll be looking out for me from now on?
Heads up. Our target is within our line of sight. Across the street, the elusive drug dealer mentioned in our intel reports has made his appearance. There are too many people here. We need to find a way to get him into a more secluded area. I'm about to discuss our strategy when Caleb raises his hand. The man is yanked into a nearby dark alley as an invisible force pulled him there. Well, thank you, that was pretty easy.
Didn't you need to ask that guy a few questions? Why are you just standing there?
I like how he does these things without hesitation. After interrogation, we learn that this drug dealer is not the true mastermind. He's merely hired by someone else. His job is to receive the goods and deliver the frenzy enhancer to specific locations so they can be sold. He knows nothing else. Caleb, you did well as a baddie. You were menacing. We didn't even get to use any of our interrogation tools, but he still told us everything. As we walked out of the alley, I can't help but marvel at how Caleb was a villain to another villain.
You're pretty good at intimidation yourself. Doesn't that mean you're my partner in crime?
Caleb quirks an eyebrow and leans in. He pretends to scrutinize me.
But you weren't scared as far as I'm aware. In fact, you seemed to be enjoying yourself as you played along.
His warm breath gently stirs the hair near my forehead. I did it for the intel. Besides, noticing my quickening heartbeat, I gently push him away. I hope it doesn't reveal how flustered I am. I'm not eager to be your partner in crime. Alright, so we got our intel. Caleb just does what he can to help us without any hesitation or any word. At midnight, Caleb and I once again sneak into the abandoned building. According to the drug dealer, Ever is scheduled to meet him here for a business transaction tonight. Caleb and I decide to arrive at the location and set up a stakeout. Ding ding ding! We've arrived at our destination. Passengers may now disembark. Since Caleb is carrying me on his back, I tap his arm. It's time to put me down. Caleb can't help but chuckle.
You're getting better at utilizing my ability. It's like second nature to you now.
It's quite useful. It's not my fault it's so useful. It's hard not to borrow it. I expected him to tease me, but to my surprise, Caleb nods with an exaggerated seriousness.
In that case, I should thank myself.
When I give him a puzzled look, the corners of his mouth curl into a grin.
There's another reason for a certain busy enforcer to think about me.
I know he's messing around, yet I sense sincerity behind his words. You're a goober, Caleb. Even if I didn't have that reason, I could never forget you. Caleb pauses for a moment, then I hear his soft laugh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad the hallway is pitch black. He can't see the heat rising to my face and ears. The business transaction will take place in a laboratory at the end of the hallway. I scan my surroundings and memorize the layout. We don't know how many people they'll bring. Let's assess the situation once they arrive and go from there. Hazy moonlight streams in through the lab's broken windows. An ethereal glow is cast on the room. As I pass by a glass chamber meant for observation, I stop in my tracks.
What is it?
Caleb follows my gaze and he sees our reflection in the glass. Two figures are almost leaning on each other. I can't help but move closer to Caleb. I use my hand to compare our heights. The height difference wasn't this big when we were kids. I guess we changed quite a bit since we went our separate ways.
Really? I feel like we're still the same.
Caleb tilts his head to the side.
Aren't you still the girl who always looks for me when she wants to reach higher ground?
Come on, I don't...
I wonder, who was it that always loved to climb to the top of the watchtower again?
Mm,
It was so she could watch the sunset as a kid. But she couldn't do it herself. She had to ask me for help. And then...
And then what? I try to cover his mouth and attempt to stop him for talking about my embarrassing moments, but Caleb catches my wrist.
Are you trying to destroy the evidence?
Possibly. Don't talk about my embarrassing childhood stories. Before I can protest, Caleb hugs me. Why did he... His familiar scent envelops me. Before I can ask him what he's doing, Caleb's voice caresses my ear.
Shh. We have company.
Caleb brings me to a dark corner of the room. We hide behind a filing cabinet. Three figures appear at the far end of the corridor. Caleb and I exchange glances and understand what we want to convey. Once the figures are inside the laboratory, Caleb raises his hand. The door slams shut behind them. Okay, so hopefully we got our evidence from these men. Pikachu626, hello, welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Oh, it went too fast. There we go. Our interrogation revealed that these drug dealers were following Ever's orders. They flooded the black market with potent frenzy enhancers. Their true objective was to incite chaos and panic. Then they would exploit the situation to take control of the city. And as we suspected, the info about Caleb being an SSS class predator was also leaked by Ever. Silas is my number 1. Number 2 is either Raphael or Caleb. After we returned, Caleb and I went back to work. It took several months for everything to calm down. Waiting for Caleb to clock out, I sat on a bench near the flower beds of City Hall.
My best friend is cooler.
Oh?
Nuh-uh, my best friend is cooler.
It's definitely a child argument.
My best friend is brave enough to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. He can do it by himself, too.
That's so cute. How old are these kids?
My best friend is brave enough to eat cockroaches.
Oh dear God, do not. Please, kids.
Well, my best friend eats more cockroaches than yours. He can eat 20 in one go.
Okay, kids. The two children, who were arguing nonstop in front of me, turned to look at me.
Miss, whose best friend do you think is the coolest?
You're asking me? I look up from my device. The screen shows the latest update about a recent investigation into Ever. Wearing a crisp uniform, Caleb stands at the podium to address the public. The political party he leads is drafting several policies to prevent and reduce predator attacks on civilians. Everything seems to be moving in a positive direction. I think Before I can finish my sentence, I notice a familiar figure walking out of the building. Caleb saved me from this. Ooh. Caleb spots me immediately. Despite looking somewhat surprised, he makes his way through the crowd. He stops in front of me.
It's freezing. Why did you come all this way to see me?
You always pick me up. Am I not allowed to do the same thing? What do you want, buddy? He takes my cold hands and does his best to warm them.
It's all I could ever ask for.
Don't do this to me,
What
man.
were you talking about with these kids?
Oh, we were...
We're deciding whose best friend is the coolest.
Caleb turns to look at me. I was just dragged into the convo, man.
What do you think?
I'm not sure, but it's definitely not mine.
Really? What makes you say that?
You need to step it up a bit, man. He's either playing hide or seek or playing pretend. He keeps secret from me and... I pretend to be annoyed, and he gently flicks my forehead. I cover my forehead. I'm ready to complain, but I'm stunned by Caleb's gaze. It twinkles with mirth.
You're so young, but you already have a list of grudges.
And who are they against, sir?
Okay, let's go home. We'll address these
Oh my God.
grievances one by one, and I won't try to defend myself. Promise.
I grab the hand he used to flick my forehead and playfully stuff it into my jacket pocket. I'll temporarily confiscate the weapon used in your attack then. Oh, his eyes are such a pretty color too. They're a nice purplish. The holiday is approaching, and the trees lighting the street are already adorned with heart-shaped colored lights. Having just finished a dangerous assignment, I'm confronted with this peaceful scenery. The light snowfall has stopped, and we suddenly agreed not to drive home today. Instead, we walk around aimlessly along the main street. Our unspoken rapport guides our steps. Caleb's palm is warm. I wish we could always hold hands and walk like this forever. Do you remember my favorite game from when I was little? Despite my random question, Caleb seems to understand what I'm trying to say.
Are you talking about how I used my ability to play with the leaves in autumn? I'd make a shower of leaves just for you.
Oh, that is so cute and precious. Back then, the Southern District was actually dangerous and derelict, but Caleb was always there by my side, so I finally recalled those memories. I was easy to be happy when we were kids. Eating candy, watching the sunset, or even playing with piles of leaves. Just about anything could bring joy. As a reminiscence, I can't help but laugh. Come to think of it, all the things that ever made me happy were connected to you somehow.
And now?
He stops in his tracks and turns to face me.
Does the Caleb standing before you still bring you the same joy as before?
The golden hues of the setting sun reflect in his eyes. They highlight the tenderness in his gaze. I nod without any hesitation. What about you, Caleb?
For me,
A gust of wind sweeps past us. In the glow of the setting sun, silver frost falls from the branches to create a shower of glittering light. At this moment, it feels like there's no safer place in the world than right here, between us. Caleb looks at our shadows leaning against each other.
what makes me happy has never changed.
Embraced by a warm, sweet feeling, my heart melts like a marshmallow. I smile. As night quietly falls, the colorful street light comes to life. Their radiance is seemingly endless, as if they're illuminating the boundless path ahead. Oh, Caleb, stop. You're so close to me and you're so sweet. I can't handle it. You're too precious, my god. These stories are actually very sweet compared to the whole outfits and the premise of everything. So we finished with Caleb's, and let me collect his things. All right, so next on our list, we will do Zane. Then lastly will be Xavier. So for Zane, all right. So Zane, his is Galen. I think he's the warden, right? Gotcha. Okay, let's start with the prologue. Hey, buddy. The interrogation room is eerily silent as I face the criminal sitting across from me. Pretending to be confident, I slam the case file onto the table and take a moment to contemplate my approach.
You seem surprised.
It's hard not to be. I'm talking to Warden of Lincoln's maximum security prison here. Rumors about the sudden disappearance of this infamous warden have been circulating for a while now. But no one could have predicted him ending up behind bars. Or him being in my custody for that matter. Our last meeting was when I had to be brought in for an internal investigation. I spent a few days behind bars. To think the mysterious warden interrogated me himself back then. Now roles have been reversed. It's unfortunate that we meet again under these circumstances. Zane remains silent. He only gives me a cold look. While you have the right to remain silent, rest assured I can make you talk. Since we're still in the friendly exchange stage, is there anything you'd like to say? We aren't strangers after all. Zane raises his hands that are bound in chains. He shakes them in front of me, and the metal rattles.
This is your idea of a friendly exchange?
I pull out a key from my pocket and swiftly unlock his restraints. The chains fall to the floor, the clattering jarring in the quiet interrogation room. And with that, I do believe I've proven my sincerity to you. Zane finally gives me his undivided attention as he flexes his fingers. You good, buddy?
A gesture of goodwill typically requires one to return the favor. What do you want?
Oh, blunt. A potent frenzy enhancer has appeared on the black market recently. It can make predators stronger and more dangerous, which will lead to more civil unrest. According to our intel, the frenzy enhancer was leaked from an abandoned Ever research facility. The report itself is in a hidden room in the Southern District. With a scrutinizing gaze, Zane places his hands on the table.
You've already obtained this much intel. Why do you need me?
The location of this room is unknown to most people. Only a select few have that information.
So you went through all the trouble to bring me here. I suppose you don't have many leads to work with.
We do have leads, but one more informant increases our chances of success.
Placing your hopes in another person's hands is rarely a wise choice.
Bro, I'm out of options. Please, work with me here. His measured, unhurried tone always gives the impression that he has the upper hand. But I'm the one with all the cards here. Even enemies could become allies with the right incentive. A location can give the warden his freedom. Surely, this is a fair exchange. Zane looks up at me, and a hint of amusement plays on his lips.
Is everything a transaction with you now? I thought you were relying on our history as old acquaintances.
I don't know why a warmth creeps up on my face. I awkwardly turn away. I'll interpret that as you agreeing to cooperate. Zane doesn't confirm or deny my statement. He picks up the pen and signs his name on the release form without delay. You didn't read the fine print. Aren't you worried you just sold your soul?
I already already signed the document. If I did sell myself, I'll be at your disposal.
Hey, already agreeing to everything. Okay, buddy. All right. So we're looking for whatever this room is, but we need Zane's help. Okay. Let's see how this will work out for us. After securing Zane's release, we officially embark on our journey to uncover the intel we need. We search the abandoned Ever research facility and successfully locate pages of the research report related to the Frenzy Enhancer. Unfortunately, they only bear faint ink marks. There isn't any legible text we can make out. And so, we have no choice but to take a different approach. You already contacted your informants. That was quick.
The prison is a melting pot. Spend enough time there and you'll have connections in all sorts of circles.
Why are we visiting a dessert place?
This is an intel hub.
As I take in the shop's pastel macaroon-themed display window, I find myself lost in thought. This is far from the image of Lincoln's top-secret intel hub that I had imagined. I expected the entrance to be behind an ominous painting, or maybe the fierce-looking statue by the door would be a secret switch.
If that were the case, it would have been exposed countless times by now.
Zane stops the car and leans out of the driver's window. He places his order with a composed expression. I guess that's a secret code?
Hello. I'm here to pick up my food.
Do you remember what you ordered, sir?
Ice cream with numbing spice. No chili. Donuts with salt and no sugar. 1 set of medium rare macarons and 1 well done. Both sprinkled with salt and pepper.
Huh? Yeah, that's definitely a code. That's the most obvious code ever, though.
Of course. And the lady?
I'll just have the plainest vanilla ice cream. No toppings, please? For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm the one with weird tastes. At a loss for words, I look up at Zane. Bro.
A slice of chiffon cake for her. The most basic flavor.
Okay, is that another code? I'll try one of your salty donuts later, if that's okay. Are we actually getting that food, though?
Here's your order, sir. Don't forget your receipt.
As soon as Zane takes the receipt, he starts the car. We quickly leave the neighborhood. Do we actually get food? I wouldn't mind getting some snacks as complimentary. That's it? Confused, I clutch a large box overflowing with desserts and look to Zane for answers. We actually did get some desserts. Okay. I didn't realize your associates in the black market had sweet tooths. It's sort of cute to use desserts as currency.
I was speaking in code.
Yeah, okay, that's what I assumed. Okay.
The ice cream represents the required service. The donuts signify my offered compensation, and the macarons indicate the deadline for intel delivery.
That is interesting. Okay, but you kind of made it really awkward and kind of obvious with the order. He hands me the receipt, and I see a string of numbers on it. It turns out to be a phone number in code.
We usually communicate using disposable phone numbers for follow-ups.
It's unbelievable that a dessert place could be a cover for an intel hub.
It started out as a pet shop, actually. However, they got tired of dealing with cat fur and dog hair, so they switched to desserts.
Understandable. If it's still a front, they still gotta have, I guess, regular customers. There's something in his words that catches my attention. A flood of memories washes over me. What about your old clinic? Did you leave it in their care too?
No. I closed it after I moved.
I'm starting to miss the birds, cats, and puppies you used to have in your clinic.
It's fine. They found good homes.
Oh, that's good at least.
They're happier now than they were when they had to constantly move with me.
I'm about to commend him for his kindness when I realize something. Wait a second. You didn't give away my turtle too, right? It was staying with you temporarily. I was gonna get it back.
Don't worry. I made sure to keep your turtle.
Oh, that's hilarious and cute. Zane's a turtle dad. Satisfied with his answer, I hand Zane one of the ice cream cones I'm holding. I keep the other one for myself. Here you go. Consider this payment for being a turtle sitter.
You're giving me the ice cream that I bought? What an interesting regifting strategy.
Even though he said those words, Zane takes the ice cream cone. He bites the cherry off the top with ease. You have quite the collection of identities. 1 minute, you're an underground doctor with a veterinary clinic as a front. Then you're a warden. And now you're a prisoner I've interrogated.
Aren't you the one who went from bounty hunter to enforcer? We simply took different roads to arrive at the same destination.
I'm about to probe about the meaning behind him saying the same destination, when melted ice cream drips onto my cheek. Zane suddenly leans in and ostensibly wipes it away with a napkin. He starts whispering. The sudden warmth of his breath on my ear makes an unexpected heat rush to my cheeks.
Be careful. I believe we're being watched.
Oh joy. I like the idea of Zane just having a bunch of different jobs, and I'm glad they still kept up the whole doctor thing, and so he just had to change careers. Okay. Despite almost circling the entire city, we failed to lose our pursuers. We decide to enter the labyrinth streets of the Southern District. Zane navigates through the twisting alleys with remarkable ease. I'm surprised as he confidently acts as my guide. From the one-way streets to the bars with hidden side entrances, he knows every detail about this area like the back of his hand. After many twists and turns, we finally manage to shake off our pursuers. We can't stick around here, and I don't think my place is safe either. It'll be easy for them to keep an eye on the employee apartment of the LCBI provided me.
Then we can go to my house?
Isn't the warden's residence in the heart of the Northern District? That's even more dangerous. The street is a flurry of activity. Cars and people rush past us. We move closer to each other to hear our voices over the din. Seemingly oblivious to the commotion around us, Zane turns to face me.
I was referring to my house in the Southern District.
You took hiding in plain sight seriously, huh? How many hideouts do you have here?
I only have that and my old clinic. I lived there before I met you.
Ooh, sleepover? When I stepped into Zane's home, I'm stunned by the unexpected coziness from the paintings on the walls to the snowman-shaped utensil holder on the dining table. Everything is warm. The lived-in atmosphere of the room pulls me in like a wave as I go from being on edge to the comforting embrace of everyday life.
I haven't been here in a long time. The fridge is empty, but there are still some non-perishable foods. Would you like something to drink?
Soda or juice, please?
I'm sorry I can't offer another option. Tea is all I have.
That's fine too. It's fine. Having the warden invite me over for tea is a unique, flavorful experience. The atmosphere suddenly shifts, and I'm left with a mix of long-awaited relaxation and a nagging sense of unease. Are we taking a break?
We don't have any new leads, and we've hit a dead end. In addition, people are tailing us. We're out of options at the moment.
The tea is ready, and Zane places an empty cup on the dining table in front of me. He gestures for me to help myself. I still have to serve myself, huh? I see the warden has a bit of hospitality, emphasis on a bit.
At least it's a step up from the hospitality I offer at prison.
You also look more approachable than you did in said prison. Zane unhurriedly pours himself a cup of tea. Then, he looks at me with an expression that seems to hold a deeper meaning.
Should you visit again, I'll make sure to give you special treatment.
What I feel like I'm in his crosshairs. No, it's okay. Let's not plan another visit. Feeling uneasy, I wave my hand dismissively and quickly sip my tea. Hopefully, I can change the subject. I haven't gotten a good night's sleep in ages. This tea should help me stay energized.
Take this opportunity to rest. We won't be missing out on anything.
Reassured by his words, I actually start to relax. Holding my cup, I walk around and take in my surroundings. I step out onto the balcony and crouch next to a pothos. I watch my pet turtle slowly poke its head out of its pool to sunbathe. After feeding the turtle, Zane sits down in the lounge chair beside me. You took good care of my turtle. It looks healthy and energetic.
It was only supposed to be for a few days. No one could have predicted it moving in with me.
You're such good roommates, though. Following his gaze, I spot an array of turtle supplies from food to a fully equipped tank. You're the perfect turtle guardian. I'm impressed. Zane softly chuckles.
If I mistreated this turtle, I'm afraid its owner would have shown up on my doorstep demanding answers.
Zane and I bask in the afternoon sunlight. It's as if we're gently swaying in our lounge chairs. Outside is a world of urgent matters waiting for us. Yet here we are, sunbathing like cats. As sleepiness slowly washes over me, I can't help but let out a long yawn.
You may sleep if you're tired.
You won't sneak away if I do, right?
There are handcuffs of various sizes in the drawer. Should I bring them out for you?
Oh? What you got those for, buddy? Alright, I'll trust you. Unable to resist any longer, I feel my eyelids become heavy. When I wake up, dusk has already arrived. Zane is still sitting beside me, his gaze fixated on the sunset. Because of his unreadable expression, I can only wonder what's on his mind. A gentle breeze passes us, and the wind chimes by the window softly tinkle. With this peaceful, idyllic atmosphere, it's hard to believe we're in the Southern District. Zane.
You're awake.
Your lounge chair is too comfortable. I only plan on taking a quick nap, but I slept like a baby. I gently touch the blanket draped over me before looking up at Zane. Thanks for the blanket.
You're welcome.
You were staring off into space. Were you thinking about something? He turns to face me, and our gazes meet.
I was wondering when you'd wake up.
You miss me in my sleep?
The thought had barely crossed my mind, and then I heard you speak.
A vibrating phone interrupts us and masks the sound of my racing heart. Zane lowers his head and taps his phone screen. It lights up.
It's a message from the Intel hub.
We got a lead? All right. That's something. Okay, we had a cute little moment together hanging out, and now it's back to business. According to the Intel Hub's latest findings, the pages of the research report we found weren't blank. The text is written in invisible ink. After applying a special solution to make the text visible, we uncovered a set of coordinates. These pinpoint the exact location of the hidden room we're trying to find. We find ourselves before a shuttered storefront. A prominent for rent sign is hung on the door.
Property for rent. Interested individuals should act fast. For inquiries, call.
They really went all out for this cover. But what happens if someone actually calls that Before I can finish my sentence, an automated female voice speaks.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service.
Zane puts away his phone and looks at me.
It's invalid.
Wait, you actually called? My words haven't completely left my mouth when he creates a shard of ice. He uses them to destroy the padlock, then he opens the door. Noticing how I haven't moved yet, he glances back with that look that says, "What are you waiting for?" Your clinic got a big upgrade. You offer a lot more services, huh?
Are you suggesting I do pet boarding during the day and work as a locksmith at night?
Don't forget, you're the LCBI's most wanted criminal. The more skills you have, the better your career prospects are once you're out of prison.
The LCBI is thoughtful. They're considering a prisoner rehabilitation program now.
I look through every nook and cranny of the abandoned shop for hidden mechanisms. Approaching the checkout counter, I lift the dust-covered cash register. It's using abandoned shops as a front a standards for secret operations.
Ever isn't exactly known for its creativity.
As expected, our search reveals something even more cliché. A hidden door tucked away in the corner of the shop. I exchange look with Zane before pressing a well-concealed button. The hidden door slides open. Will this passage lead us to the answers we're trying to find?
There's only one way to find out.
As we descend the winding staircase, rusty laboratory equipment and test tubes filled with colorful liquids gradually enter our line of sight. I take a step, but Zane quickly holds me back.
Watch out.
An old, poorly maintained ceiling lamp crashes to the ground in front of us. It kicks up a cloud of dust. That was close. All these traps that are meant to deter intruders have been fully dismantled. Luckily, our seamless teamwork allows us to safely navigate the narrow corridor. We dodge the lasers and the occasional hidden traps. I would have handcuffed you sooner if I had known you were this nimble.
You're bold. Did you forget I still have a hostage?
My turtle! What are you planning to do with my turtle? Zane's lips curl into a slight smile, and a hint of mischief shines in his eyes.
It doesn't get to sunbathe during yard time.
Hey, that's a violation of turtle rights. After what feels like an eternity, we finally reach the end. In the deepest part of the hidden room is a storage area. We uncover another research report. This is good. even if it's only a few pages. If we're lucky, the info on it might be enough for the investigation to move forward. With a sigh that barely conceals my disappointment, I tuck away this hard-earned, incomplete research project.
I found another one with crucial information.
Startled, I look at him. How did you get your hands on that?
The files they left here were stolen from me.
Oh. Okay. Okay, Zane. So, what were you doing with these files then? Under the cover of darkness, I follow Zane back to his old workplace, the Predator prison. We make our way down the underground corridor and into the cell block. Iron bars greets us, and a sign on the wall catches my eyes. It reads, Escape attempts are prohibited. Violators will be fined. I don't think an escapee is worried about fines. This is your idea of humor at the prison?
Yes. It's supposed to lighten the mood.
It sure definitely lightens it when they're already in prison. I'm sorry, but I don't think finding something to laugh about here is easy.
Well, we tried.
Standing before Zane's office, I find myself in silent standoff with a lock on the door. To my surprise, the password seems to be changing in real time. We need to figure it out on the spot. Wait, you don't know the password either? How is that even possible? Zane grabs a pen and paper from the items that lie scattered on the receptionist's desk. He starts jotting down long strings of numbers in various combinations. It seems he knows the cipher.
When a predator goes into a frenzy, they temporarily lose their self-awareness. In addition, their pain response is dulled and their emotions are suppressed. In this state, it would be impossible to keep any secrets. So the safest option would be no one knowing the password. That includes me.
I watch him work through the calculations. I don't know if I could ask a certain question, but my curiosity gets the better of me. What would happen if you went into a frenzy?
The frenzied state amplifies a predator's inner desires. Using that logic, the counter would be self-restraint. Perhaps I'll build my own personal containment cell and lock myself in it.
The image of him desperately struggling to control himself flashes through my mind. My heart grows heavy. I carefully think about my response. Have you ever entered the frenzied state?
No.
He circles the final string of numbers with his pen. When he looks at me, there's a hint of amusement in his eyes.
Of course, nothing is absolute. It could still happen.
What will you do then?
Nothing too fancy. As I said, I'll find a place to lock myself away.
He enters the password into the lock, and the office doors open. You don't want others to see you when you're in a frenzy?
No one would want to see me like that.
I interrogate hundreds of predators. It'll take a lot to scare me. Trying to sound casual while speaking from the heart, I pretend to be interested in the items on his desk. I idly touch them as I talk. If you ever go into a frenzy and no one's around to watch you, you can always call me. He looks at me, and I feel my cheeks become inexplicably warm. I quickly add to my statement. Consider it me returning the favor for when you treated my injuries.
Out of all the places you could have gone to for treatment, you chose a vet clinic. It's certainly an unconventional approach.
Who would have thought your clinic was hiding a real doctor? You even nursed me back to full health. I was really lucky. Zane turns to reach for something from the bookshelf behind him. He pulls out a carefully preserved research report. Then, he offers it to me. With the other two research reports, a more complete picture is formed. I let out a sigh of relief. We have more information now, and while we still have things to investigate, it's a significant development. If we follow this lead, we might be able to find an antidote for that powerful frenzy enhancer. Lincoln City can become a more peaceful place. It'll be one step closer to retirement. The corners of Zane's eyes crinkle. Amused, he humors me.
Not only have you planned out a new career for me, but you also thought about your retirement.
Time waits for no one. Better safe than sorry. What about you? Have you thought about what you do once this is over? He looks at me, and something flickers in his eyes. Whatever it is, he keeps it to himself.
I'm afraid not. Do you have any suggestions for my retirement plans?
You could be my house husband. Why don't you go back to being a doctor? I'm sure you'll make a fortune. Don't forget to send me the address of your new clinic when you open it. I hope it'll treat humans and turtles.
I'll treat whoever visits. However, I hope you won't be one of them.
By the time we leave the prison, it's already dawn. Bathed in the warm winter sunlight, Zane and I walk toward a new day. Nice, last part, okay. True to their word, the LCBI politely released Zane after obtaining the information they needed. To fulfill my role as a gracious host and properly say goodbye, I asked them to meet up with me. The afternoon sunlight reminds me of that day we sat in those lounge chairs. Now, we're talking while on a bench. I guess you'll go back to being a warden when all said is done. Today, Zane is changed into his daily outfits. He doesn't answer my question. Maybe he's not allowed to discuss it.
What about you? Will you get a new assignment?
Yep. We both have matters to attend to. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see each other for a while. That's how it's always been for us. Separation follows brief encounters. I only just learned that she'd been developing a special drug and trying to track down the source of the predator outbreak. It's shocking that ever stole the research she worked on to make that frenzy enhancer. I told him what I knew about his true identity and plans. He doesn't confirm or deny it. So, this is what she meant when you said we took different paths to reach the same destination.
And to meet an interesting individual on this path. It was worth it.
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
I just wanted to tease him, but his straightforward response caught me off guard. I'm flustered. We sit in a comfortable silence for a long time. He turns to face me, and his gaze is so intense that I feel as if he's looking into my soul.
It seems like only yesterday when I found you covered in blood on the streets of the Southern District. In the blink of an eye, we both experienced ups and downs.
It's strange. Just like back then, I can't help but feel like we'll meet again when we say goodbye. Zane chuckles as he watches me squint at the sunlight.
If that's the case, then this isn't goodbye. Perhaps you'll be walking around with your turtle and getting some sun. Then we'll bump into each other on a street corner. Eventually, we'll find ourselves sitting on a nearby bench. We'll be chatting just like old times.
And if fate doesn't bring us together, we can nudge it along. It's been a long time since we had a chance to sit and relax like this. Comfortable, Zane and I talk like old friends. We sip our coffee and watch a double-decker bus drive down a tree-lined avenue. I've seen those tour buses around the city countless times, but I've never actually been on one. Alright, it's settled then. I'll get on a tour bus when I'm retired. As soon as the words leave my mouth, Zane stands up. He gestures to the bus stop with his chin.
The bus will be there in a few minutes.
Now?
Instead of waiting until you're retired, you can do it now.
We hastily throw away our coffee and clumsily sprint toward the tour bus. I quickly fall behind, yet Zane grabs my hand and pulls me along as we run. I didn't think Zane was this fit. We board the bus just seconds before it leaves.
We made it.
The bus isn't crowded, and we find 2 seats by the window. We were so caught up in our conversation and appreciating the scenery that I only just noticed the sunset. Doesn't this feel like we're chasing the sunset?
A full tour of the city takes 5 hours and 30 minutes.
Good job, you killed the mood. I know. You think it's a waste of time. We can get off.
I can't think of a better way to spend our time.
Don't do this to me, ma'am. It's snowing before we realize it. Snowflakes drift through the half-open window and gently land on our shoulders. I reach out to brush off the delicate snowflake that settled on his cheek. Zane, I think every sunset will remind me of you from now on. Oh, don't do that. Zane has this thing about his voice and personality that just makes me feel so warm on the inside, which is kind of funny considering his evil. I just love it so much. His story was pretty cute. As always, I like the little moments we have of just us sitting down and catching up. I love Zane being known as a turtle dad. I expect to see so many fan arts of him with just a cute little turtle. I need to see it. If not, I might have to draw it myself. All right. Last but not least, we will have Xavier, and then we will be done with all of the Overture, what was it? Savage Overture stories. All right, let's get to him being unlocked. We gotta give it a sec. Yep. There he is, breathing heavily. They look so hot when they breathe heavily.
Am I just your subordinate? Or am I something more?
Alright, let me click that. Alright, and before we start, let me just get a quick water break. Alright, we have our last guy, and as always, we start with a prologue. And there he is, looking like he's already knocked out. The Predator Xavier is restrained to a chair in the interrogation room. Lost in thought, his head is lowered. Upon hearing the sounds of approaching footsteps, he opens his eyes. The hostility in his gaze slightly softens when he sees me.
Long time no see, Captain.
And here I thought you forgot about ranks and titles. Should I applaud you for remembering your old position? As I look at his familiar face, my mind drifts back to the past. Xavier used to be my subordinate in Operations Sector 1. Like me, he was another unremarkable enforcer. While his skills were notable, he excelled at following my orders to a T, Because of this, I trusted him almost unconditionally. Yet, I had no idea his true identity was that of an SSS-class predator with the code name Hermit.
I'm at your mercy. You're free to charge me with whatever crime crosses your mind.
Oh? While he never once tried to hurt me, the sting of deception still lingers. Let's get down to business. A new type of frenzy enhancer has appeared. When injected, it makes predators more violent. Several cases were confirmed to be linked with this frenzy enhancer, and all the leads we have so far point to... I closed the file and slid a photo across the table to Xavier. It's a picture of an abandoned building. Here, this place was once a biological research facility. Our reconnaissance revealed that the building still utilizes an active security system and traps. I want to investigate it, but I need a skilled predator as an assistant.
You must be aware of the risks. I'll be safer if I stay here.
As if you're the one in danger. Everyone else is safer when you're in prison. Negotiating won't get me anywhere, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to put in a request. You'll be accompanying me as a member of the investigating team. You don't have the option to refuse, and you can't escape.
So, after considering every predator you have in custody, you've decided to work with me? Which means I'm the one you trust the most.
You gonna use that against me? Xavier, or rather Hermit, has consistently shown the lowest frenzy index out of the predators I've encountered over the years. Behind that gentle facade lies a heart unmoved by anything. No wonder he doesn't show any mercy to his enemies. Xavier, don't push your luck just because we have history.
You taught me that the key to dealing with a cunning suspect is to be strategic.
The chains softly rattle as he leans in close. Even though the room is lined with surveillance cameras, he whispers into my ear.
But for me, that reason is more than enough.
Alright, and we're here with Xavier, okay. I so desperately want to roll for his card so I can get more information about our background. But I must stay strong. I already got the 3 cards I needed. Alright, the abandoned building. The entire building is shrouded in gloom. Its thick walls keep out sunlight from the outside world. After a quick safety check, I enter the building and find Xavier, who has already gone inside ahead of me. A sharp acrid smell permeates the air. It's almost hard to breathe. Traps designed to prevent predators from escaping are scattered throughout the building. The walls are marked with bloodstains and scratch marks. They're signs of desperate attempts. It looks like many predators were brought here for experiments, and most of them didn't make it out alive. Xavier, doesn't it feel like we walked into a haunted house? As the flashlight swings around, it illuminates a ghastly disembodied head. It's staring at us. Oh, that's not pleasant. The unsettling sight makes me stumble back. My heart is pounding as I struggle to process what I saw. The light shifts, and it illuminates a head that appears of an X-ray.
Were you scared?
Congratulations, you can add intimidating and enforcer to your list of crimes.
I'm sorry. I was being inconsiderate.
Yeah, you were, but you don't sound sorry. Not showing any signs of guilt, Xavier puts down the X-ray. A sphere of light materializes. It flows over and shines on an abandoned filing cabinet against the wall.
I did a quick look-see earlier. You should find some interesting new leads here.
these files. They seem to be abandoned research reports and records of data. I carefully place the files into an evidence bag. As I do, a set of unfamiliar vials catches my eye. They're tucked away in a corner of the drawer. And these leftover reagents.
I think they're designed to be used on predators.
My gaze flits between the reagents and Xavier. Then I pick up a metallic spray can and give it to him. Could you hold on to this for now? He takes the spray can, turning it over in his hand. He shakes it before pressing the nozzle a few times. Wait, what if it's dangerous?
Don't worry, it's empty.
You're lucky it is, though. You really like jumping headfirst into danger. Skeptical, I take the spray can back from Xavier and shake it. I press the nozzle a few times. Let's take this back to the lab for analysis. It might give us some leads on the frenzy enhancer. Suddenly, a sweet fragrant mist bursts from the nozzle and envelops us. Well...
This scent... It's like...
It's not empty. Suddenly, Xavier's shoulders slump against me as he stops moving. Xavier? You okay, buddy? I quickly turn around toward him and closely examine him. I let out a sigh of relief after confirming he was alright. He's asleep. Wait, is it because of the spray? 6-in-1 Predator Sleep Spray. 1 spritz guaranteed to KO, or else you get your money back. Well, with a sigh, I prop up Xavier while carefully placing the remaining reagents into an evidence bag. Then I realize something. Xavier, wake up! We're now on the ground floor. Why didn't you wait until we went downstairs to faint? The mission has been put on hold due to unforeseen circumstances. Does that mean I have to carry him down these stairs? Staring at the seemingly endless staircase, I can't help but pinch Xavier's cheeks. With a sigh, I hoist him onto my back and begin my long trek. Oh, hell no. See, I would have to wait until this man got up or I would have to push him down the stairs. I am not strong enough to carry a man on my back. They really said let this man fall asleep. After submitting the reagents we found in the building to the forensics department, we can finally take a break. We have been working non-stop for days.
There were unstable prototypes of this enhancer on the black market when they were still refining the formula.
You encountered them before?
I only heard rumors.
In the interrogation room, Xavier sits across from me. His expression is as calm as ever. For some reason, the chains binding him make me wince. I can't bring myself to look at them. It'll take a while for the analysis report to come in, but I'll admit, we wouldn't have been able to infiltrate and find those important clues without your help. Xavier, do you want anything? Of course, don't ask for anything too extravagant, but we can make your living space a little more comfortable.
Can I walk outside?
That's it? He meets my gaze and nods. Sincerity shines in his eyes.
Yeah, the weather is nice today. I thought it'd be fun to go for a walk. With you.
On the bustling street, Xavier and I walk side by side. He changes into a casual outfit, and our shoulders occasionally brush against each other during our stroll. You get pass as a normal person when you're dressed like this.
Many predators were just ordinary people before they transformed.
What about you? What was your life like before you became one? I remember a rumor that used to circulate among many LCBI colleagues. Xavier's background was far from ordinary. Don't tell me. Are you the heir to a criminal organization? Or are you the scion of a powerful corporation? Xavier pauses for a moment, then he silently gestures behind me. Look at where he's pointing. On the mall's electric billboard, an ad for the Bunny franchise flashes across the stream. Wait, your family is the owner of the Bunny franchise?
No, they aren't. I just thought we could grab a bite to eat while we talk.
Bro, the conversation, please pay attention just a little bit. It's not long before Xavier approaches me. He's balancing a tray stacked with food.
What do you want to eat? I ordered one of everything.
You paying for that? Our small table is soon buried under a mountain of food. We have 9 kinds of burgers, 4 drinks with varying levels of sweetness, and 7 side dishes. So, this is what they meant when they say a predator has a voracious appetite. Xavier doesn't try to hide anything. He reveals that he's from Phalo, a powerful conglomerate that's a formidable rival to Ever. Phalo is an ancient, enigmatic family enterprise. They moved their main base of operations to Lincoln several decades ago. However, when the topic of his family members or the reason he became a predator comes up, Xavier remains tight-lipped. He treats them as a forbidden subjects. Come to think of it, there are rumors about Phalo having a young heir with poor health. Was that you? Fragmented memories are slowly pieced together in my mind. I recall snippets of old newspaper articles I've read before. Even though I was still living in the Southern District back then, I heard rumors about you. They called you the most lucrative target for every gang in the city. I heard how you were kidnapped when you were on your way to a piano lesson one time. Apparently, there was a bidding war over your ransom. You got passed around between different groups too. But in the end, the gangs turned on one another, which led to an all-out turf war. My god. Just arguing over who gets to get the ransom money from a person you kidnapped? In the end, Xavier made it back home without a scratch. He even returned with all his music chic intact. Not a single page was missing from his backpack. While the gangs were tearing each other apart, Nikon enjoyed a peaceful respite. It's all thanks to you. Xavier is quiet for a moment. His spoon casually scraps the bottom of his empty ice cream bowl.
I see you looked into my past.
Did you not want me to? You probably didn't, but like, be for real. With my curiosity piqued, I slide my untouched dessert toward him. I hope I can coax out more of his story. But you could have easily kept your identity a secret with your background. Why are you always alone?
Once I became a predator, they decided to hide me away.
Oh. As dusk falls, the gentle evening breeze casts ripples of soft golden light across the landscape. Xavier, if you hadn't turned into a predator, what would you have done with your life?
Being an enforcer like you sounds nice.
You don't care about money or advancing your career, though. What does the LCBI have that you want? Me?
Right. If I'm not in it for the money or career prospects, what am I after then?
Xavier is caught off guard by my persistence. He pauses for a moment. Then he glances at the street before his intense gaze returns to me.
I guess I like the job security that comes with a government occupation.
That's definitely a down-to-earth reason.
What about you? Why did you pick me during the interview process?
You're cost-effective and seem useful. You also appear to be loyal and obedient.
The Then once my name is cleared, you can hire me again.
Did you hear my cat? Bro is ready to go. Before I can ask Xavier to elaborate, we both come to a stop as we approach a dark alley. Dappled shade from the nearby trees dances across the ground. Xavier and I exchange looks. We both heard the sounds of footsteps trailing close behind us. Okay, I gotta let my cat out real quick. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm coming, buddy. You ready to leave? Okay. Okay, I'm back. He was done being confined in the space. The quietness of the secluded alley is disturbed by the echo of our pursuers' footfalls.
They're gone. What should we tell our boss? Up ahead is a dead end. They should be around here somewhere.
Are you looking for us?
Ooh. Before I can stop him, Xavier steps out. He politely waves at the people who are following us. We're outnumbered, don't be
Relax. I'll deal with them.
Fine. Make sure you don't get caught on camera. I don't want to be punished for failing to keep you in check. 1, 3, 5. There are 6 in total. Since they tracked us down to this location, they must be here to stop our investigation. Suddenly, a light bulb goes off in my head. If that's how it is, then maybe we should play along. Let's see where this takes us. I decide to make a show of resistance. Then I pretend to be overwhelmed and fall to the ground. But when I steal a glance behind me... Bro, don't actually hurt them.
Who hurt you? Never mind.
Xavier,
let them suffer the consequences.
Well, we didn't tell him the plan, did we? That's our bad. We didn't tell him what the plan was gonna be. This man saw us fall to the ground. It's like, oh, hell no. And just like that, 2 of the men are already unconscious. Light starts to gather in Xavier's hand. Xavier, get down! I slightly move forward and tug Xavier's pants leg twice. Xavier's gaze flits between me and the remaining men who are on the edge. Understanding flashes across his face. This is so stupid. Did you even try? Oh my god. Xavier deliberately takes the attacker's strike head on. Clutching his chest, he staggers. When his back hits the wall, he exaggeratedly sinks to the ground as if he were in slow motion. Oh my god, he overdid it. He's such a child. That is so funny. They're gonna believe this though, aren't they?
Perfect. What did I tell you?
You're so stupid.
Invincible.
Oh my god, this whole scenario.
Let's tie them up and hold them hostage. We'll get a lot of cash with these 2.
From who? Who's gonna give you the money? Be for real right now. With their faces full of glee, the men in black approach us with blindfolds and rope. Pretending to go unconscious, I squeeze my eyes shut and go limp. God, this is so stupid. Oh my god.
These 2, they're fresh out of the LCBI. We should be able to trade them for 10 vials of the new Frenzy Enhancer. We'll get more next time. I don't know if 10 vials will be enough for us.
Keep an eye on them.
Don't worry. They're pushovers. They can't escape even if they tried.
Oh. As our captors' voices fade into the distance, I cautiously begin to feel my way around in the darkness. This warmth is... It's Xavier. As Xavier removes my blindfold, I realize my hand is still in his thigh. I quietly pull it back.
What are you doing? Our captors are already gone.
Ignoring the question he asked in a soft voice, I clear my throat and raise my hands that are bound. Doesn't this place give you a sense of deja vu? The bloodstains and claw marks on the ground are hauntingly familiar. They're identical to the ones at the research facility we searched recent. Do not tell me they took me back to this place. Is this their only hideout?
We were brought back to that abandoned building. Were you listening in on their conversation? They'll use us as bargaining chips to get their hands on the latest frenzy enhancer.
We can work with that. Their business partners will be here soon. We exchanged looks, and that's all we need to do to be on the same page.
When those predators return, should we give them a warm welcome?
Might as well. I give his shoulder a reassuring pat, then I nod. I'm counting on you. Like, there's no shot. They really believe Xavier's little performance. Oops, kidnapped is a name for the timeline. Bro, Xavier, I love you. That performance was subpar. These guys, whoever our kidnappers are, barely had any brain cells between the 6 of them rubbing together. Cause what the hell was that? Having dealt with our captors, we decide to disguise ourselves as the predators who would meet the seller.
So, how will you act as a predator? Are you going to use those techniques you showed me before?
I think back to the times I taught Xavier how to impersonate a predator during our undercover missions. I was completely unaware that a real predator had been beside me the whole time. Oh, that's kind of awkward. It's okay. I already have the perfect subject to study and observe. I mimic Xavier's tone, tilt my chin up, and give him a defiant stare. Move. You're in my way. Well, was a predator like enough? Doesn't it sound familiar too?
Not really. You need to be more aggressive.
Ooh, can you show me? Give me an example. Are you deaf? I'm talking to you.
Better. Keep going.
Ooh. Xavier, do you like being degraded at this point? I grab his collar and force him to meet my gaze. Xavier, I've been watching you for a while now. I thought you were a loyal subordinate of mine, but it turns out you're just putting on an act from the very beginning. People like you who obstruct investigations while being shrouded in mystery are far from enduring. You play the role of an innocent rookie so you can secretly manipulate our investigations to suit your own agenda. You pull the strings for each one, whether it progress smoothly or is done in vain. Isn't that right? He presses lips together to form a thin line. The hint of an explanation appears and disappears in his eyes. I sigh and wonder why I suddenly unloaded all these accusations on him. I thought we were playing
You see
around.
me as a despicable person, then.
As I struggle to respond, the sound of footsteps resounds from the shadows. Several gazes gleam with ill intent. They lock onto us.
Are you two new? I never seen you around before.
Yeah, we're here to get stronger.
Yep. We're looking for ways to get stronger? That doesn't sound convincing. Xavier's tone is brimming with confidence. I can't help but compliment his acting skills in my heart. The Predator's leader's most override answers for a moment. Then he takes a step towards us.
Well, you've come to the right place.
The Predator closes the distance and throws an arm around me and Xavier's neck.
With the Frenzy Enhancer, we can kiss the miserable days of living in fear goodbye!
I heard you have the latest version of the Frenzy Enhancer. We're after the strongest stuff.
Not so fast, pal. Tell me the password.
Oh, there's a password? Predator... 1? Frenzy Enhancer? What would be a good password for this? Do we just kick his ass? We just kick his ass at this point, right? Our prolonged silence doesn't go unnoticed. The Predator leader narrows his eyes. Suspicion is evident in his gaze.
What's the holdup? Those LCBI dogs have been breathing down our necks lately. No password, no goods.
Okay, we are right. We can just go ahead and just kick this man's ass right now. Like, there's no other option. After a tense silence, Xavier pinches the bridge of his nose and steps back. He leans against the cell door.
Forget it. We're done playing around. Let's skip to the part
Yeah,
where we fight.
thank you. Like, this whole undercover thing wasn't really working out, but I like the effort. I appreciate it. Xavier, this makes my careful planning look rather pointless.
Damn it! They're undercover enforcers! Get them!
Jesus! Okay, guys, no groaning. You're good. You're good. They use the frenzy enhancer on themselves. Run! Random men just groaning into the bike. In our rush to escape, Xavier and I dash into a laboratory on one of the upper floors. An operating table sits at the center of the room. The floor is littered with empty syringes. The stench of the new frenzy enhancer is stronger here. Let's split up and look around.
Something is leaking from the ceiling.
It's hollow. On the other side of the wall, the pounding on the door intensifies. It gets louder and louder.
You check out what's above the ceiling. I'll keep them busy.
All right, be careful out there. After I squeeze into the passageway. Oh, okay then. The ceiling passage leads me to another laboratory. This one is crammed with research equipment. Behind the lab bench, I spot a cabinet that spans almost the entire wall. It's packed with boxes of reagents. The thought of Xavier holding off all those predators alone spurs me into action. I start rifling the cabinet with renewed urgency. These ingredients. I turn on my phone and meticulously cross-reference the ingredient list on the box with the test results my colleagues sent earlier. I knew it. This is the new frenzy enhancer. After telling my colleagues to get a search warrant, I sprint toward Xavier's location. An eerie silence hangs over the area outside the laboratory. Frenzied predators lie on the ground. You beat your asses? Xavier is leaning against the wall, cradling his arm. His head is bowed, hair obscuring his face and hiding his expression. Xavier, are you all right?
We have a problem.
He lifts his head and slowly raises a finger. He dramatically wags it before my eyes. Be for real, I thought you were hurt or something. All it is a tiny cut. It's so insignificant that it'll heal before I can even think about bandaging it. Be for real, you got a little boo-boo on your finger? Do you want me to kiss it better? Do you want a little bandage on it? Wow, that looks awful. Should I kiss your boo-boo to make it feel better? You're so childish. Ain't no way that's how that part ends. The way I thought, maybe he inhaled the frenzy enhancer by accident, or he was actually injured. Well, technically he was injured, but it was just a little boo-boo. Just a scratch, just a tiny little thing. LCBI vehicles swiftly surround the building. All the predators are subdued, restrained, and loaded onto the vans. As more and more familiar faces from the LCBI appear, I hastily pull Xavier aside. Only a handful of people know you're a predator. Things will get complicated if everyone finds it out. Let's go.
I'm I'm afraid that's no longer an option.
Ooh. My colleagues immediately swarm Xavier. They surround him. Hey, you guys!
Did you take down all those predators by yourself, Zadie?
Xavier, hello?
You've outdone yourself this time.
I heard her told you to leave. There must have been a misunderstanding, right?
Sorry?
Yeah, when are you coming back? The new enforcer assistant isn't good enough.
Okay, I guess he's that good at his job. Okay. A week passes. I approach the desk of our newest colleague and give him a bouquet. Welcome back, Xavier. After the investigation ended, Xavier and I haven't talked for a while. Occasionally, I hear whispers about Hermit from my informants in the Southern District. Most of them aren't flattering in the slightest. I'm not sure how he managed to become my colleague again, but here he is. I tap his desk that's covered in welcome gifts.
Notebooks, folders, tea, cookies. I got a lot of welcome gifts this morning. This is the first bouquet I received today, though.
I'm not sure if there's a holiday, but everyone on the street had flowers. I didn't want to stick out like a sore thumb.
Oh, so you'll buy flowers for the other new hires?
Not everyone gets special treatment from me.
That's true. Flowers are for disgusting people.
What? Okay, sir, sit your booty down. At a loss for words, I decide to act. I take the bouquet and gently hit him on the head with it.
I have flowers, but I don't have a vase to put them in.
Oh, these will wilt in a few days. Don't bother.
You shouldn't treat an important gift like that, though.
Oh, dear Lord, hold on. We're almost there. And my phone just like, We're at the last part. Give me a sec. There we go. In the store by the street, I take the vase Xavier picked out from his arms. This is a vase, but these two are for...
Oh yeah. It's my first day back at work and I don't have a mug.
Xavier hands me a cup decorated with stars. You just needed to get one for yourself. Why did you buy me a mug? Not to mention, they're part of a matching couple set. Xavier doesn't answer my question. Instead, he gently brings his cup decorated in moons towards my mug that has stars on it. Ooh, that's a cute couple set.
What about you? Why did you buy me flowers?
He glances at the street. Several couples pass by, and they're holding a bouquet.
Was fitting in the only reason?
The sunlight casts a warm glow around his figure. I've never told him this on the day he gave me fireworks. But in my eyes, Xavier always looked the same. It's as if he's unconsciously glowing. Maybe it's because in this chaotic world, someone gifted me a spectacular fireworks show. Is that the end? No! These are really sweet. These event stories was much sweeter than I expected. And there we go. That is all of their stories. And let's collect his little items. We get that. Yes, thank you for that. And let me just switch to Silas. All right, that was Savage Overture event story for each of the guys. I loved all of them. They're definitely a lot more lighter and sweeter than I expected. So definitely all the darker, more backstory parts for this AU, this alternate universe, is in their specific card story. So definitely pull for the gal that you want, that you want to play for yourself and have that card, or probably you can go on YouTube. Definitely someone's gonna upload the stories for each of these cards. You can definitely check those out yourself if you're not interested in these cards. But I had a lot of fun with these. I 100% love this AU, and I hope that they do more events like this in alternate universes, no matter what it could be. 100%. I love me some like Queen and Knight type stuff. Anything like that, I 100% would be on board. I would go crazy for it. I am not sure what banner would be next. It has to be an individual banner next, right? As long as it's not Silas or Caleb, I would be fine in that front, because I have spent everything I have to get Raphael, Caleb, and Silas's tomorrow's Catch 22 cards. I had to spend a bit of money on that too. Don't want to spend anything else in gachas for the like next week or two. So pray for me for the next banner. I don't have to spend anything. I don't have to, nothing. I just need to keep on saving like crazy. But yeah, that was it for today's event. I really enjoyed this. Next stream will be tomorrow, Honkai Star Rail. Finally got it updated. I forgot updating the game takes forever. It spent like 5 hours updating yesterday, so I couldn't stream it. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be continuing Pinakani. Don't know where the hell I am. We'll just go with the flow and probably just chill for like 2-3 hours playing it. But yeah, that is it for today's stream. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Bye bye. OMG, okay.